the Jeffersons, what was it, Archie Bunker, they did it, nearly 50 years ago. There are folks who make jokes off of racist shit. There are people that can't handle it. I get it. There are people that can't handle it. But the advice is not to cancel the program or the comedy show. The advice is for those who can't handle it to simply not watch. That's my take on it. I run a free speech program. That's what we're here to talk about. Because I got hammered yesterday by a hell of a lot of folks, all African Americans, by the way. All African Americans, because they think that I let MAGA and I let Caucasian guests, white guests, say too much shit and go too far. My response is, damn it, it's a free speech program. I don't silence African Americans either. It ain't like the black people that come up get silenced on the program either. So my take on it is that some folks want a certain group of people to be silenced and others to be able to speak freely. We don't do that here. We don't do that here. We let everybody speak. So I want to come on the show today and hear from you folks. I'm open to criticism like no other. Today is no exception. I'm going to let you folks, because if we want to get into actual worldwide topics, Iran is claiming that they got bombed and America's claiming it's self-defense. We can talk about what's going on in the world. If the show leads there, we can do that. But today, what I do want to address is how you think the show is being handled. If the guest is handling the show like a piece of shit, damn it, today is the day for you to tell if the host, yours truly, if the host is handling the show like a piece of shit, today is the day when you come correct and tell the host, I think you're handling the show like a piece of shit. And then you explain to me why. If I understand your point, I'll make it clear. I understand your point, maybe even make corrections. If I think you're full of shit, then I'm going to push back. But that's what this is today. This is a program where everyone gets to speak. I'm open to criticism, comments. Hell, I'll take a compliment if it comes my way. But I expect a lot more criticisms and comments. So, but I just want to tell you real quick before I start taking callers and reading the comments. And by the way, I'm going to need you guys to tap the screen as always. We're going to run the program like we normally do. It's just a different type of topic. Program's going to still be MAGA friendly. We're not going to silence anybody on this program. We're going to run it the same damn way always. Our comments are going to go left of Mom Donnie to I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anybody on the program, including yours truly, and I expect that to happen today. So everyone is welcome on this, but I do want to hear what I'm getting wrong or if I'm mistreating guests. Some of you folks may know a couple of days ago, Gangsta Grandma really tore into me because she was called a colored C word by another guest. Now, I gave her 20 minutes after that guest said that to state her case. I'm about free speech. She didn't want free speech. She wants me to tear into that guest. It's not how we do it here. We don't defend one guest in favor of another. There's only 3 things we block or censor guests for doing: spamming, using the N-word, just the N-word, spamming, using the N-word, and threats of physical violence. Other than that, this is a free speech show, folks. And I probably would let the N-word go by if it wasn't for the damn apps that takes it down. I believe in free speech. This is free speech absolute. I'm going to be clear. A lot of folks can't handle that. And apparently most of them seem to be my African-American viewers. My African-Americans. They seem to be my African-American viewers. So I want to hear from folks on the left in particular. What am I doing wrong? What am I letting through that shouldn't be let through? And of course, my beloved MAGA, I want to hear from them as well. So this is open. This is completely open for you to do and say what you want on the show. And of course, as I just stated, if we end up going in the direction of world issues, because there is still a war going on, the economy still sucks, and President Trump is still talking shit, despite his doctor saying he's younger than Obama or something like that. He just had a physical. So we can talk about that as well. So I'm going to leave the show open, and I'm going to go straight to the comment section now. I'm going to ask that you folks tap the screen on TikTok, get the likes up to 10,000. For my YouTube viewers, smash that like button. and we'll get into it. So looking in the comments right off the bat, Handsome Conservative, thank you for supporting the program early on. Says, I heard what was said to you last night. I am sorry your party turned on you like that. Here is some money from a friend who would never disrespect you like that. I appreciate your support, Mr. Conservative, and absolutely, I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that. I mean, by the way, folks, to some of you folks who didn't hear it, I was, this went on for a few hours. I got hammered by several of my liberal, well, they weren't all guests of this show, but some of them stated they were going to come on here because I made it clear that's going to be the topic. This is going to be the topic today. I want to get this shit straight. I want to know where the show is going in terms of what's entertaining, what you folks would like to hear. You want to hear more MAGA, you want to hear more liberals, you want, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Some folks think that I'm bashing the libs too much. Others think I'm bashing Trump too much. All of those guests think I am officially MAGA. So go figure. Are we at 10,000? Tap the screen, get the likes on up. We'll read the comments. Love you, Tim Wisdom. Thank you. I'm going to need a lot of that today, I assume. I'm going to need a lot of that. Wisdom Skyrider says, I thought she was white. Who? Are you being gangster grandma? Evil, B-by-boo. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I present to you the man who loves getting women angry. Oh, my God. Great host of the summer and the man who loves all his gas. What do you say? All his gas, but loves making us angry. Give it up for Tim, the liable man on YouTube. First of all, I don't love making women angry. I do not love making women angry. Are we at 10,000? I want to take the first caller on TikTok. Tap the screen. In regards to the claim that I love making women angry, you guys know I'm a glutton for punishment. You know I don't black ban or censor, but I don't normally dish it out the way I can take it. I normally can take it, and I allow folks to state their case, and I keep it civil, very civilized. Last night, I didn't do that. Forgive me, guest. I actually called a woman a bitch, a black woman, in front of a black audience. They all tore into me. Now, she said all kinds of horrible things about me. Talked about my weight, talked about my looks, fat, called me all kinds of things that they were all okay with. The whole group were laughing. And in a moment of weakness, I called her a bitch. Did I go too far? You don't call a black woman a bitch is what I was told. You just don't do that. You let them say whatever the hell they want to you. And damn it, you're wrong if you say anything back because you are a man at the end of the day. So in a moment of weakness, I referred to the lady as a bitch. I don't know if she's coming through tonight, but I did tell her, you're free to come through, and I got to get rid of a spammer. But I made it clear, you're free to come through the show and set me straight any way, anyhow. That's just what we do here. I want to make sure I get rid of this. Somebody spamming by trying to indicate that Trump is a pedo. I did not see, my screen wasn't scrolling, so for you folks on TikTok, I do apologize. I didn't see this, and now I do see it. Somebody was typing this. Like I said, we don't block, ban, or censor. That's just not something I like to do. But if somebody is typing the same shit over and over again, and then of course they're throwing in emojis and all kinds of other shit, so you can't. Nobody else can get a comment in. So I had to block somebody. We don't do that very often here. Fortunately, we don't get a lot of spammers and stuff like that, but occasionally it happens. So yes, I called a woman a B word. And I got hammered by everybody. So a moment of weakness. I was, this lady she doesn't like my program. She's African-American. She obviously leans left. She doesn't like the way I run my program. She does not like MAGA whatsoever. She admitted, if you're an African-American, the only program you should have is a hate Trump program. We don't do that here. We favor letting Trump supporters and MAGA speak the same way we do liberals. And because of that, she threw words like "fuck you," "you're fat," or just looks and all that. So in a moment of weakness, I threw the B word out. Anyway, so looking in the comments, and thank you folks that are tapping the screen, get us up to 10,000. I'm dying to take the first call. I want to be set straight. What am I getting wrong here? While we're doing that, we'll go over to DenCal on Instagram. We are live on Instagram, Substack, TikTok, and Clapper if you want to come up live and be a guest. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. Denkel, welcome to the show. Good evening, Denkel.
Good evening.
Man, did you hear any of yesterday?
I heard some of it, but I missed the B part. It got heated.
It was literally a handsome liberal after dark. This happened, I don't know, around midnight. I literally were letting them hammer me for about 4 hours or more. It was it.
I heard the earlier parts of it, but for some reason your Instagram cut out, and so I wasn't able to check out the rest of it. But
Yeah, Instagram for some reason times out. My shows are 3 hours. I think it times out after 3 hours. So sometimes I'll start it up. I didn't start it back up. Before we hang on, before we continue, Evil B Babu says, Tim, did you see that a lesbian lady said that she loves you, that she would marry you? That's deep, man. I wish I had that. What would you want a lesbian for? They don't even want what you got. That's like buying an American device and trying to plug it in Europe. It don't fit the outlet. So what am I getting wrong, Den? Am I letting MAGA say too much and censoring the black folks in here?
no, I mean that would be hard to say on a free speech platform. Like you can't control what the people say.
True.
Per se. And look, I'll just be honest. Like sometimes I have to turn it off when Gangsta Grandma be on because it just gets too much. It just gets to be too much for me personally.
Really?
But
I got a bunch of guests who tell me this show ain't shit without Gangsta Grandma.
I know, and I disagree with him, and I wanted to come up and have a conversation about that. I don't no, that's bullshit. This your show. It was built on your platform. Some people do. Some people obviously do make the show more interesting and
right.
Like that, but it's not a comedy fucking show. It's not a comedy show. It's not to listen and laugh because you hear somebody talking about uncooked protein and all of that. And to be honest, her message gets drowned in all of that. That rhetoric and stuff.
Mm. Well, there are a healthy complement of folks that also agree with what you're saying. You more of them are MAGA leaning or leaning right, but I do get some liberals who say the same thing because, I mean, listen, she is rough around the edges. I compare her to our current commander-in-chief, President Trump. She says things that resonate with the people, but the delivery is brutal, similar to President Trump.
Right. It's like starting a conversation with somebody, calling them every name in the book, but then be like, "But what I tell you, you should agree with me on." No, I don't give a fuck if what you're saying is right or not. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be resistant to your message.
That's President Trump all the way. But let me tell you something that happened. It was on Instagram. I don't know if you were on at the time. One of my viewers referred to this was a couple lives ago, so this was not yesterday. One of my viewers, a well-known viewer, I'm sure his name will come up eventually, but he referred to her because he's MAGA. He referred to Gangsta Grandma as a colored C word. Now, I read the comment, which I often read comments. I read the comment and told her it was aimed at her. She was on, I think she was either on live or on deck. I read the comment to her, and then she had about 20 minutes to respond to it, but she was more angry with me as opposed to the individual that said it, because according to her, I should have stood up for her and attacked the guest.
Well, I'm not going to say you should have necessarily attacked the guest, but I think you should have pointed out what he said was not offensive, because everybody on the show was saying offensive shit.
Mm-hmm.
But when you talk about stuff that's racially offensive, that's a little different than me saying, you like Trump and I say Trump is a piece of shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's different than going after somebody's heritage, especially.
But you do realize that she often refers to them as inbreds and say they fucking their own kids. I mean, she does the same thing based on their race. And I don't check her. I let her speak.
I mean, you do say stuff about what she's saying. If you say it's horrible, why are you saying it? You sound racist. You do. You do push back.
Yeah, I have told it. Yeah, because she does it a lot. I have said that. Yes.
Right. And so, I mean, even if it, but I don't agree with all of that. You should build your show around protecting
Yes.
her. Like, yeah, you know, because if that's the case, you would have to protect everybody. You would be commenting about every side about everything. That's not what your show is. It's a free speech show.
Yeah, I despite her tearing into me on every level of communication, I'm a fan of hers. She doesn't watch anymore. She's permanently tuned out. So we're talking about a ghost at this point. But nevertheless, I don't. You're right. If I end up defending her, I'm gonna have to defend other people because what about all the people she attacked? Should I defend them too? So let me tell you something that also happened that is not related to her. Is that I had some of them tell me. Now all of these folks that were tearing into me were liberals and they were African American. They all were, and they were suggesting that another thing I do wrong on the program is I give MAGA a safe space to say whatever the hell they want. Now, the fact that I get liberals a safe space too doesn't resonate with them, but they're telling me that some of my guests come on the program and say racist shit towards African Americans, or better yet, they've said racist shit towards African Americans on other live streams and other platforms. And when they come on mine, they're rather civilized. But because people in the comments are telling me about what they did on somebody else's live, I should take them off of mine, even though it's not happening on mine. I had to.
Now they want you to research the people and decide who is worthy or not.
Yeah.
It's not a free speech platform then.
Yeah. All right. So you seem to be somewhat on the same line. So let me just ask a simple question. What the fuck am I getting wrong? Am I doing anything wrong here at all? Tell me I'm doing something wrong. I gotta be getting something wrong because they're all over me, man.
Yeah. I've said before, but I stopped saying it because I realized this is your platform and this is how you created it. I used to be, criticized and do all the fluff and stuff, but I understand the only way you're going to be able to maintain a communication with MAGA is if you
see their side occasionally. Yeah, I got to see their side on shit too.
Like, this is how liberals feel about what y'all and you don't think that it's right. And that's the only way, because if you start doing what they want you to do, you won't have not one MAGA coming to your live.
Yeah. Yeah, they had
the conversation altogether will be over.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a big issue with me saying, I'm MAGA friendly, MAGA are welcome on the program. Why are you sucking MAGA's dick? Why are you kissing them to MAGA? I'm like, you realize I only got like 3 because they say I bring up too many MAGA. Like, really?
I would say you probably 60 to 70% of who you bring up, and not because you don't want to bring up MAGA, it's because it's not that many of them that come to the platform that want to get on here and say some of the dumb shit they be saying.
Yeah, but I'm totally willing to for my MAGA viewers that are currently watching. We don't block, ban, or censor you. So I'm trying to make sure I get this shit right so we can keep bringing you up. But apparently there's a few black folks that just don't like your asses. So understand. And I get accused of defending MAGA. That's what they're telling me I'm defending them.
Some might think it's defending them. Some might say, like myself, exposing them. But I know you don't want to feel like that, but you don't want that to be the type of relationship you have with MAGA. You want them to come on. You want them to say. You want them to explain their position.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're gonna get them to do it. But hell, now most of the damn original MAGAs you had, them motherfuckers about jumped off the goddamn train now. Most of them are like, yeah, I don't know about Trump. Like, if I would have known what I know now.
Yeah, I actually had Gen X on the show yesterday that even said he himself, now he's a Proud Boy, he's obviously MAGA. He said he's kind of still riding with Trump, he said, but if I knew what he was going to do in regards to Israel, I would not have voted for him. That was a first. I think MAGA Reactions is about the only one that's really hanging on. Jeremy is really pissed off with him. So, yeah, some of my mainstream MAGA, I gotta find Julio and get his opinion, but you're right. Some of my mainstream MAGA are pretty disgruntled.
And we would never know that if we weren't able to have this dialogue. If remember when before he got elected again, all of the promises, and they were all gangbusters. Like, yeah, he gonna do this. He gonna fix everybody's finances. We gonna get checks. No wars, no nothing. They get laid on any of this shit right now.
Well, in the comments, I got looks like Tony is saying just wait. So perhaps he still has.
That's what they were saying. That's what they were saying in the beginning. They was like, oh, it's only been a couple of days. Then it was like, oh, it's only been 100 days. Oh, this is time. Now they're like, oh, he got 3 more years.
Well, according to his doctors, he's healthier than Obama, so he may be around for a while.
But they can't continue. The only argument they got now is let's just wait.
Yeah.
While people is fucking starving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people have told me it takes more than 2 years to fix Biden's economy. Like, that ain't what he campaigned on. He said, I'm gonna lower the prices on day one. Now you're talking it takes more than 2 years?
That's not what they said. They said he's just the guy who can do it. I know
Yeah.
it normally takes that long, but Trump is the guy who can do it. Watch, he'll get this stuff turned around immediately. They bought in. They cannot do that now. All they can say is let's wait. And we keep waiting, and he keeps killing people. He keeps doing shit. He keeps stealing money.
Well, in the comments, Slick says Trump has this under control. I got to move. I'm going to limit them to 10. I'm going to limit them to 10 minutes today. But I'll say this before I let you go. There is one thing they can still say: that he is not as bad as Biden. That's what they're still saying. That's the go-to phrase. It ain't as bad as it was under Biden. Cal, last word to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to the people who was talking that trash about Trump didn't get steamrolled when he went over there to China. Now he has permanently stopped those arms sales going to Taiwan, and that's a win, but a big win.
That's a big
China.
win. That's a huge win. Let's see what China does with it. Appreciate you coming through. And that'll probably be part of our conversations in the near future. Cal, thank you. All right, tap the screen, by the way, folks. Get the likes on up to 20,000. Read a couple comments. We'll go straight back to the box. I want to know what the hell am I getting wrong. Looking in the comments. Oh, well, the timer is right ahead up there. Somebody asked where's the timer. I guess it's coming. He just needs 2 more weeks, just like his healthcare. Yeah, he said that a lot. 2 weeks. There's a movie, 80s movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. 2 weeks. I think it's a drone or something. Anyway, looking in the comments, the dumpster Iran deal he has to make, it seems better than Obama, which it will not be, says PG. Yeah, I think Trump just wants to get out of Iran at this point. It's hurting the gas prices. It's hurting his chances in the midterms. It's hurting his legacy, et cetera, et cetera. I think he wants to just be able to say something positive real quick and get us out of Iran. I don't think we know he's not going to stop hostages from being killed. He's not going to get regime change. And the only other one is to prevent them from getting a nuclear bomb. But he wants to be able to have us to have access to go in their country and make sure they're not enriching uranium. They're not going to let them do that. You're not going to let an enemy, certainly not under Trump, maybe another country or something, but you're not going to let America go in your country so they can look around and figure out what other kind of radar and missiles and shit you got so they'll know what to strike in the future. Because if we go there looking for making sure that they're not developing nuclear weapons, you think we're going to stop at that? When we're driving around the countryside, we're looking at other shit too. It just basically gives America an open pass to spy on your country. They ain't going to allow that, and we wouldn't allow it. Actually, I agree with it. Tim's a great host. People can't handle he's on everyone's side, not just one side. Stormin J, I appreciate that. Thank you, because I don't expect to get much of that today. Let me go back to the box, get us up to 20,000. We'll go straight to SJ. Good evening, S. Welcome to the program. SJ, good evening.
Hey, what's good, Tim?
I don't even know the day.
It's afternoon where I am, but
okay.
No, I caught parts of the live yesterday. I didn't catch the C-word comment.
Okay.
As someone who was, for me, it's the use of the word blacks, I think, was an issue as well.
The use of the word blacks was a big issue. I was damn near feeling like I was a sponsor of Jim Crow the way he was talking to me.
I hear you. So I did a podcast several years ago. I used the term myself, and it's interesting because would I use the term today? No.
Mm-hmm.
And I came up because I just wanted to say, when you know better, do better. So I think this is an opportunity for you to, kind of listen to the feedback and then make a decision.
Something. Let me say that, and I agree with you. When you know better, do better, and hopefully that's going to be the aim of what I do, and hopefully I succeed. But I will say this: it's almost like going to some young African American in the hood that always uses the N-word, and having an older guy tell him how insulting that is to the culture and things like that, and trying to get him to stop using it. It's going to take a while because he's been saying it for so long. That's been part of my normal spiel. I've never had an African American person correct me on that. Like yesterday was the first time.
To other black people?
Huh?
You've been talking to other black people?
Well, in dialogue, I guess it doesn't come up much. It just didn't come up much. In fact, I talked to a few other people, and the first thing they was like, "Is that for real? I never heard it." We went and looked it up online, and it does say it's not kosher to use it with an S, to use blacks as a noun. But listen, when I was in, I'm Gen X, 70s and 80s, I'm in school. The N-word was incredibly unpopular. It was considered racist. I don't remember hearing blacks at all. So this is something developed during my lifetime. I don't remember hearing that word being suggested as being unpopular or racially charged at all. So I guess
I agree with you. I'm not fully Gen X like you are. I'm in between some millennial, but things change and meanings change, and we adapt and we grow. That's why I say, when you know better, do better. So the comments are going to pop off, of course, and be hard on you, but I think this is an opportunity to have a conversation and change some things, and that's okay. I've heard you say it before, and I admittedly have cringed and just like, oh, okay, I'll give him a pass. But I think
I know it's. All right, wait a minute. Are you black? You're African American?
Yeah. Well, I'm not African American. I'm from Jamaica.
Okay, because I'm like, damn, I got it.
I'm an American citizen.
Okay, you almost sound English. I'm like, damn, I know I fucked up if an English guy's telling me I get a pass. Like, wow.
I'm not claiming to speak for American culture. I'm just saying, because even myself, like I said, I had to learn and be like, oh, okay, that's offensive. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing.
Just like, in South Africa, they say colored, but you can't say that here. But
really?
Totally fine.
Wow.
Meaning. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, see, I like I said, you learn these words, but I just like I got hammered once for calling I think it was a woman, visually a woman, but she wanted to be called they and them. And we were in a debate, and there was multiple people in there, and she's saying things, they saying things. And so it takes a while to get used to speaking in a way you've never used to. I'm not used to looking at a woman, what looks like a woman, and referring to them as a they or a them. And this person was not giving me any leeway to as you say, when you know better, you do better. It takes time to get used to something that you were taught is grammatically incorrect. You can't call a single individual them or they. That's what they taught us in schools. So you're trying to learn this new shit. And what I was asking the individual in regards to using the word blacks as a noun, which is racially charged, I asked him, I said, okay, you're criticizing me as an African-American for using blacks. The N-word is even more racially charged, but you're okay with me using that. How does that make sense?
Well, I mean, I think context matters. You have a lot of conversation with white people, for example. Like, if one of them use the N-word, it could be a problem. It's a problem for a very specific reason because of historical context. But I wouldn't, I know gay people who use the F slur, for example, amongst each other, but it's not my word to use. Just like, it's not my place to call a woman a B word. Like, that's their thing. They do it.
See, that's why I get hammered, particularly by African Americans on the left, because I'm going to sound really unpopular when I say this, and I'm sure people are going to come up and tear me a new one for saying this, but I don't believe words should be allowable to people solely based on their skin color. If a word is wrong, the fucking word is wrong. It doesn't change because you got more melanin. All of a sudden now it's right. The word has a horrible history behind it. People were killed with the word. Well, it's now a term of endearment, but they can't say it. Like, that confuses me.
I can add to that a bit, and
Sure.
I've heard many people say this, so I wouldn't be surprised if commenters disagree with me. But the thing I've come to realize with the N-word, anyways, in particular, is it's a word that they can't use without, they can't steal it without consequence, and that's an accountability.
And it's
And
crazy.
That's the thing, because if they say it, right, people
Right.
are going to react a certain way. They don't want to have to deal with it.
But we can call them all kinds. But we can.
My point in sharing that is it's not about context per se, solely about that. It's the follow through. If I say the B word, there's a certain reaction that's going to come from women. Okay, it doesn't mean that the word is inherently or absent context a bad word. It's just I know there's going to be interpretations and reactions and all of that, and I have to match that against my intention. And as a mature adult, I say, well, I'm not going to use that word. Okay?
I mean, I understand the mindset of it. I just disagree. I don't, like I said, if a word is wrong to use, every person using it should be.
That's fine.
Here's another. Hold on. Here's another example. How can you literally, as a performer, for instance, how can you sell people, let's say, some of your art, like let's say music? You're using the word in your art, and you sold it to a person that cannot even repeat your lyrics without threat. Then why would you sell it to them? Why would you take their money and then tell them, buy my music, but don't sing some of the lyrics? That doesn't make sense.
They're not saying don't say it. It's just that people don't want to deal with the fallout and consequence.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why is it?
That's what I'm saying. They can't steal it without the consequence. Like, if you think about the historical context of white people in this country, people say I'm race baiting, but or in the world, frankly, they steal things from other cultures, and they've done so without consequence. This is one of the things they cannot take without consequence, at least not yet. They're trying right now. They're trying to bring back the R slur, for example. So maybe it's just a matter of time, then they'll start saying it and get away with it. Chuck the Builder.
I don't think it's gonna happen in our lifetime.
Consequences.
I don't think it's gonna happen in our lifetime.
Well, we'll see. I mean, a lot of crazy things are happening. So my point is, you could say the words, you can say all sorts of stuff. I just think it's a learning opportunity. It's a decision. It's part of just maturing and I think learning and growing. I don't know how old you are. I'm 43. I'm getting older, so it's like
I got about a decade on
things
you.
things are changing. You talked about gender. Things are changing. I get it.
So let me ask you one. How long have you been in America?
I've been here 20.
Long enough. Okay, let me ask you another. Okay, look, I just want to make sure it was ample time. This is another question in regards to this topic. I've had a lot of folks, people of color, African Americans, that say a black person cannot be racist because they don't have systemic power in this country. So therefore, if they do something that we would normally call racist when a white person does it, it's either bigoted or prejudiced. But blacks, therefore, are immune from doing anything that is racist. Do you agree with that?
I think there's nuance to what you're saying. Well, simple answer, yes, I agree with that. But I
Really?
The expanded answer is that there's nuance to it. Yes, and I agree that power dynamic is a part of it. Let me ask you this. Were the enslaved Africans who were brought here racist for, let's say, mistreating their masters by escaping or perhaps perpetuating violence on them? Were they racist?
Wait. You say, repeat that again. I was looking at a comment.
Enslaved Africans, okay, by white people. If they acted violently towards their captors, okay, who beat them, bred them, abused them, were they racist for doing that?
No, that's like a woman that decides to take her husband's life after he's abused her.
This is what I'm saying. Context matters. The power dynamic.
Yeah, but that's in that era. But that's in that era. That's in 2026.
Sure, but Tim, I'm saying there are structures in place, programs that, I mean, you're old enough to know redlining, right? There's programs that put black people in America, but also in the rest of the world, at a disadvantage. That the ramifications and implications are still rippling through.
But there is nothing black people can do to put whites at a disadvantage.
Not to my knowledge right now.
Really? I can't wait, hold on. I can't be the manager of an office and refuse to hire white people. I only bring my people in. You're telling me someone like Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey that hires hundreds of people They can't discriminate?
They can discriminate. I'm not disagreeing about discrimination. I'm talking about racism as a system.
If they didn't hire me, they would be called racist, though. If they said, if a white person said, I'm not hiring blacks, they would be racist. But what you're saying is if Oprah or Tyler...
Because it's a system. There's a difference between an individual business and a system that is structured in a way that advantages a certain group of people.
Yeah, see, my belief, here's my belief.
Maybe this gets too academic and meta, but you have to look at it in the context of the global hegemony and the history of this country. What has been set up, established, and how things are now. Maybe in an alternate universe, if black people were, and I laugh because I have a hard time imagining that a group of people who live communally would subjugate others in the same way that white people have historically. But in an alternate universe, maybe I could say, yeah.
Here's where you and I have a difference. I'm gonna give you the last word because I'm trying to keep it around 10 minutes. But the point I'm saying is this: if you're doing something, let's say you're law enforcement, and you're doing something that is racist, so to speak. Yes, the system is behind you. But if you got your own Ace Hardware, you're not. What you're doing to me has no systemic involvement in it whatsoever. So my take on this is, if you do something to me, if you're white and you do something to me and I can call it racist, if I do the same thing to you, the word don't change. In my opinion, if I do the exact same thing to you that you did to me that I refer to as racist, it's racist when I do it. I don't know why. Because I'm black, the word gets changed?
To me, and I'll wrap here. I had some other thoughts, but I'll wrap here. The difference is that the neighborhood, community, city, and perhaps even state would not rally around a black business. We do not have that institutional power to have others rally around and reinforce those actions that I may have taken to disenfranchise you as a white person.
You don't think that ever happens? You don't think that? Yeah,
look at the judicial system. Look at the banking system. Look at business and how white people move. You know this. I think you know this, right? So I'm saying discrimination is a thing, absolutely, but we do not have the system structures in place to support this idea that we are racist. Okay? We can discriminate. We can be bigoted. We can be biased, right? Sometimes I've been that in the past. I'm just saying you have to think of it as a system. And this is the last point. The conversation around this becomes difficult because a lot of your viewers are white. A lot of them are MAGA, and they were not taught what racism is. They were taught, if you just don't see color, don't say the N-word, don't be mean. But it's more complex than that. And they don't have the conversations. They don't have the historic context. They're not burning books, but removing books. They're changing history. And so it's like you have these conversations, or I have these conversations with people, and the confusion on someone's face is because of the ignorance. They're not going to teach, hey, great grandpa so-and-so.
I don't think you're going to get okay.
It's segregation. They're not going to do that. They don't naturally do that.
Okay, I'll address it on the other side because I got something I want to say, but I absolutely appreciate it. I'll just say this: he's right that those conversations don't get had in a lot of white. But telling somebody white, if I go through the same thing as telling a white person, if you go through the same thing as I do, what happened to you is not racist. My opinion is you're going to lose a lot of them that might be sympathetic to the cause, because it makes it look like they can't be victimized to your level. Now, where me and him, and I think a lot of folks in the comments where we disagree, is the systemic part, where folks are saying that blacks cannot be racist because, as he said, the system won't rally around them. There are plenty of black victims of racism that had the system rally around them. Plenty of black victims of racism have recouped damages. Plenty of white racists have been punished, lost their business. So that ain't always the case. If that happened, if this was 1950, where there's nobody who was a victim of racism is going to be able to recoup damages, the system is not going to help them, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, but that's not now. So that's where I disagree. Because I know myself, I think me and Denkel talked about this. We were victims of racism from Countrywide Financial, purchasing properties. They were giving African Americans higher interest rates just for being black. They were sued. They had to pay a pretty big, class action suit. And that happens. There's plenty of companies that pay. So I don't know why the claim is that, if a black person is victimized, the system won't come to their rescue. They'll just leave them all hanging. That ain't always the case. I just don't agree with that based on what I've seen. If it was absolute, I would agree with it. There are times when blacks are victims of racism and the system don't come to help them. But that is not a certainty. What we're being told is that is an absolute certainty that you can't be black, you can't be racist if you're black because, as he said, the system won't rally around you. Yeah, it does. It rallies around plenty of folks. There are African Americans that have shot racist white people. In the law said it's self-defense. There's an African American guy that was sitting in a Waffle House and 3 young white men walked in, calling him the N-word and everything. Punched him in the face. He happened to be carrying a pistol on him, and he ended up killing one of them. And they didn't charge him at all. So, like I said, there are examples in both directions, but the idea that the system is just going to let any black victim of racism just leave them hanging, I just don't see it. I've seen plenty of episodes. I've seen plenty of things to the opposite. I mean, otherwise they would have just let George Floyd hang, which they kind of were. Please let them know I will use any word I choose to use. I am a white man. Yes, that is a color there. Get out of jail free card is over with, says Aspen Conservative. So he's saying he's going to use any word he chooses to use. He is a white man, and he's saying being white is a color. And he's saying that the get out of jail free card for African Americans is over. Some folks agree, some folks disagree. Looking in the comments here, see, there is that bullshit right there, says King Finn. You're going to hear bullshit from both sides before this show is over with, I'm certain, because I'm going to be probably bestowed. Some of it's going to be bestowed upon me. I asked you guys to get your boy up to 20,000. Come on now. Tap the screen. We'll take the next caller at 30,000. Tap the screen, get the likes up. I'll read a few comments in the meantime. Single white father denied assistance and paid $800 a month in child support for one child, says Russell Dixon. Yikes, that's a fucking horror story. I know personally. Looking for racism where it doesn't exist. I'm of Japanese descent. That does happen. There's 2 types of folks. There are folks who see racism in everything. There are folks who see racism in nothing. There are folks who can look at the clouds and say, why ain't some of the clouds black? There are folks who can literally look at a man dangling from a tree and say, maybe he jumped. There are folks who see racism in everything. There are folks who see racism in nothing. We try to get away from those folks. That's what ends up tainting the cause, because racism does happen. Racism is still real. It still is in existence. So, and the damage from the sins of the past are still evident today. It's not only still evident today, in some cases it's still happening today, but it's not absolute like it used to be. That's the difference. Real quick in the comments and tap the screen, not just instances, but data and research. Yeah, plenty of data show that African Americans get mistreated in the system worse. Just look at death row. Why is 50% or more of them folks on death row African American? I mean, there is plenty of it. I'm not going to lie about that. But here's where I made it clear I disagree. And get us up to 30,000. We'll take the next caller. If 3 African Americans are beating the hell out of a white guy and literally calling him, white boy, honky, whatever derogatory term they want to use, solely based on the color of his skin. To me, and I know obviously some of my African Americans disagree, to me what they're doing to him is racist. That is racist. Because if 3 whites were beating the hell out of an African American and yelling the N-word at him, we would call it racist. All of a sudden, if you reverse the skin colors, it's no longer racist anymore because the system is not behind it. That's where I get lost on that. That loses me. Thank you for the hat and mustache, helping out with the goals there. Love to cruise. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Don't commit the crime, stay out of prison, says Robert Kennedy. I'm okay with don't commit the crime, stay out of prison, but you weren't saying that shit when the January 6th folks got arrested. Now all of a sudden, well, the federal prison they're in is horrible, so I got to pardon them. Well, they got over sentenced. What the fuck happened to don't commit the crime if you can't do the time? You certainly changed your stance completely when there was somebody you cared about getting fucking locked up. So get away from me with that. Don't commit the crime if you can't do the time shit, because you just gave a clear example of the fact that you change your mind when it's somebody you actually agree with. I find it funny how people call out racism, but when they say it to each other with an A at the end, it's the same way slave owners call. You're talking about the hard ER versus the A. And you heard me say earlier in the show, if a word is wrong, it should be wrong. If you want to move on, you don't want these folks saying it. Well, I can say it, but if you say it, I'm gonna whoop your ass. That shouldn't be. To me, that just sounds wrong. I think it sounds wrong. But I know that there are people all over social media right now beating Caucasians because they ventured into the N-word. It's, call some African American the N-word in a gas station or something before you know they're on the floor getting mollywopped. So it ain't advisable to do it, but I'm just simply saying I think it's wrong for a word to be allowed by one group of people and not the other. That's what Jim Crow was. One group of people were allowed to do shit and the other one was not. Reversing it don't make things better, in my opinion, even if it's only at a word level. Super Evil, good evening.
What's been going on?
I'm in the trenches today. Apparently, I'm a Uncle Ruckus. They don't superimpose Clarence Thomas's face on mine. I got dark circles around the eyes resembling a raccoon. I'm just a piece of shit sleeping under a MAGA hat. What the hell am I getting wrong, man?
Man, I don't know, but honestly, I would say I thought that Stick yesterday and your other live, I thought that he was about to do like some Matrix stuff and he was about to reach through the phone and just give you like an uppercut or something.
Stick was very, very passionate. With me using the word blacks. Yeah, me using the word blacks, I swear it was as if a bunch of guys in white hoods stood on his lawn yelling blacks while burning a cross. He really, really, I don't know. I mean, to me, his racism meter is really, really keened in there. I wasn't trying to do it. I mean, I was in conversation making a few errors and he was catching them all, just catching them all.
Right. He was catching you up like a tiger.
Yes.
He was like, I was like, damn.
I mean, it was this. You remember the scene? You know you don't fucked up, right? It was one of those deals. It was one of those deals.
It was insane. I was like, it's Stick. I was like, I don't know if he was being like kind of like or like Morpheus or like he was like.
I don't know, but he's. I'm gonna tell it to you this way because I got respect for Stick. I got respect for all my viewers. Certainly Stick. I was trying my best not to say it, but like I mentioned earlier with the example, if you've been saying something one way for quite a while. Like let's say a lot of guys who, as they say, cuss like a sailor. You may get married to a sweet old church girl. She don't want you swearing. But if you've been doing that, it's gonna take a while. You don't want to insult your lady. It's gonna take a while though because you're so used to just doing it naturally. I haven't been in environments where saying blacks as a noun was viewed as unfavorable, as what Stick was saying.
See, the thing is though, I wanted to chime in yesterday like so much though, but I was afraid to because it was almost like Stick was like, look, man, I have it was almost like Stick was like, look, I have caught you with my damn daughter. Don't be.
Did you wait? Hold on.
Like around here.
Did you hear him going off on me here, or did you? Because we were on his. I was on his page until about 1 a.m. or so. Did you hear? Did you see it over there? Because there were chicks going off on me too. I mean, it got worse over there.
Man, I saw it though, like on like both sides, because like I was like, oh man, because he was acting like he was a father, and then he was acting like he was on like a whole other different level. He was like, look, don't bring your ass like around here one more time, because I believe
man.
reach through this phone.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Like I said, I wasn't trying to do it. And you know, we talking. Sometimes I can talk kind of fast and throw a bunch of words out per minute. I don't care how many words I said. If I said blacks, he caught that shit in the middle of that paragraph.
Yeah, he would cut you off. I was like, man,
That boy got a racism radar that is fine tuned, like sonar on a sub. I mean, he heard every little bit of it.
exactly. And then I also wanted to know exactly, like, is it racist for us as the African American base? Is it racist for us to say white cracker or white hunky or white this though? Because you have to look at it like in that other different part of yourself. If they can say that though, it is,
Well, here's the issue. To answer your question, I have to get you to first answer a secondary or a pre-question, because you're saying is it racist to call him hunky and he's in cracker and all this stuff. Before I can answer that, I have to ask you, do you believe African Americans can be racist?
I would say, depending upon how you are raised, it all goes back to how you are raised up. If you're not being raised correctly, you're not going to be, racist or.
No. Let me clear that up. Do you believe a black person can actually do something that should be deemed as racist? If, like, let's say, for instance, a white person does something to you that you feel is 100% racist. If you do the same thing back to that white person, do you believe that is racist?
If they are doing the same thing to you and they disrespect, yes.
Okay. So blacks can be racist then. So in other words, you do believe there are situations where a black person can be racist.
I would say in certain situations, yes.
Okay. Then based on your answer, I can now answer your other question of whether it's racist to call them honkies and crackers. Yes. If you believe they can be racist, which I agree with you, I do also believe that an African American can be racist. But there's a lot of people that do not believe that it is, they believe African Americans are immune from committing racist acts. So for them, the answer is probably going to be no, because it's impossible for them to do anything that's racist. I don't subscribe to that. So yes, based on you answering my question, I would say yes. If you're calling that the white people hunkies and crackers and shit, that is racist.
So I also want to point out though, like as you were though, like referring to, it is based on how a person is being raised. If they are being raised to hate, to show hatred, if they are being raised, to start wars and to and if they're being raised on, to hate your enemy, to hate your neighbor, then they will just be like that moving forward in life, and it's really sad. But if they're not being able, or like if they're not being raised like that, then they won't be racist towards you or to their fellow man.
Yeah, I get all that part, but like I said, I'm just simply saying it is possible for African Americans to commit acts that are racist. My point is simple. I don't believe the definition of a word changes based on the skin color of the person committing the act. If doing X is racist, it doesn't matter who commits X. It's a racist act. That means I don't care if you're Asian, if you're black, you're white, whatever. If you believe that this is a racist act, then it doesn't matter who's doing it. It's a racist act.
Yeah. And honestly, I would say racist acts should be put into it is a bill that if you're going to be racist, though, you should be serving time.
They do have hate crime. They have hate crime laws. It's called hate crime statutes and things like that. They do have that. But like I said, if you got folks who are suggesting that blacks can't be racist, then all of a sudden when they do that stuff, the punishment's going to be lighter because they believe that if an African American does something that's racist, it turns into being bigoted or prejudiced or something like that when a black person does it. Like I said, I don't believe whatever you called it when the white person did it. If you're doing the same thing, call it the same thing.
Right, and it's that same thing.
Big
that,
dog. He put Kamala Harris in Black Lives Matter. Go ahead, go ahead, Super.
All that I'm just simply trying to say is that like it's the same thing. Like if you're married and if you're not married, if you're gonna, if you are going to condone the violence, though, you should actually have some, some like thought, though, like, it is behind that, though. So it's it works. It works both ways.
Fair. So let me ask you this, because in the comments, Pobo don't pull no punches. Most of the time he's in the comments. If there's somebody I want to say, I call him one of my best insultants. He's in the comments now saying, "Fight for your white friends, Tim." Is that what I'm doing right now by saying that blacks are equally accountable if they do the same thing we don't like coming from whites? Am I fighting for white people by saying blacks can be racist?
Tim, I would try to put on a hat of where you need to try to fight on I would say fight for all sides.
Well, but they don't want that. They want me to. I get folks all the time. You as a black man should know, because they're putting me in a position where you should be fighting for your kind because of what your people want. You shouldn't be defending all people. That's when you defend all people, they say you're fighting for whites.
I would say to some extent, to like some areas, you do have this thing where you think that like white people are right, though, and you got to get away from that.
White people are right. Give me an example. Elaborate on that.
So I don't know why, but I am hoping that he won't come up here. There's a thing where like you and Choke Mouth Commerce, you guys have this whole thing where you guys want to try to be in the same limelight, but it is annoying. So, and
you think I be saying Straight Talk Commerce is correct? You think I refer to? I call dude a straight racist. You think I be saying he is correct?
To certain things that he says, yes, but and it makes you look bad.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. I sure like to know what it is. I don't know. I don't give Straight Talk Commerce credit for saying much right. It's usually pretty gritty when we're going back and forth. So I would love to know what I gave him accolades on. So last word to you. I'm keeping it short today, but Straight Talk, is there any other whites that I'm saying are right? I'm asking for this shit. So tell me what I'm bending over. I'm asking for this shit. So give it to me.
I would say try to lessen your talk with him and try to not always agree on what the other party says.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to show some backbone as in far as trying to push back, though. So that's what I would like to see. But like as you said, you run a very fair show.
Thank
This
you.
is a show.
Thank you.
This is a show that is open. So if you can't handle being under Hell's Kitchen, then there's the door. So
All right. And that's a great way to wrap it up. I appreciate that, Super. Certainly thank you for the support. Thank you. That ended well. I liked it because a lot of my other callers are not going to end that well, but thank you, Super. I appreciate it. Good talk.
Always, man.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. I didn't mean to clip you so soon, but thank you. Looking in the comments, somebody said 70-30. Did you and Troublemaker talk yet? No. I believe she said she may have to work today or something, but I told her that she was one of the women down there that went off on me, but it wasn't her that I called the B word. Like I said, I'm a glutton for punishment. I can handle folks being critical of me. This is not the only day I do this kind of shit, but yesterday, she caught me at a moment of weakness. I had a sister catch me at a moment of weakness on Stick's program. You know, she's calling me fat and ugly and all that. Gangsta grandma does that all the time. I like gangsta though, but she's doing this stuff. And what is she? Fat, ugly. What else was she saying? Just a whole bunch of insults. And in a moment of weakness, I called her a bitch. I called a black woman a bitch in front of an audience of black people. They tore into me. And the crazy thing is they were all laughing at her insults of me until I fired back that bitch word. Well, you crossed the line. You got to know calling a woman a bitch. Somebody, let me know in the comments. Let me, by way of yes or no, if a woman is attacking you first, is it out of bounds to fire back verbally? This is on the internet, so it's not hand to hand. We're not throwing hands, and I got an opinion on that too, but we're talking verbally. If a woman is attacking you first and you verbally attack her back, is that out of bounds? Even if you use the B word, yes or no? Let me know in the comments, yes or no. If you use the B word, somebody says, fuck it. Ghost Bro says, fuck it. Now here on TikTok, some folks are saying yes, but Bruce Thornton is saying you fucked up. So yes, he said, so she called you Clarence Thomas. Tony NFGO, she called me Clarence Thomas. She said I was, all of that. She threw all of that. Raccoon, Uncle Tom, you name all the synonyms. So here's my point on it. And I'll go, are we at 30? Yeah, I'll go back to the box. Here's my point on it. I like to respect women just like the next gentleman does. But in my opinion, once a woman puts on the gloves and starts throwing jabs, she is now in the ring. I believe a gentleman should always respect sisters of all races, not just black women. I believe men should respect women of all races. But I don't believe they should be punching bags, verbally or physically. Once the woman starts attacking, in my opinion, you have no right to demand a free pass at attacking somebody. Because just like you don't, if you know you don't want to be struck, don't strike. If you know you don't want to be attacked verbally, don't verbally attack someone. That's where I disagree. And I see in the comments a pimp named Furback says I disagree. So you, and I'm assuming you're not the only one that disagree, but what you're suggesting is if a woman attacks you, you should have to, because you're a man, take that attack. Which, by the way, gives the woman a free pass in the future to just attack you again. I mean, it's kind of like a bully. A bully knows that they can get away with it. And if you give in, they usually come back. And do it again. Anyway, let me go back to the box, tap the screen. Let me look in the comment section. Who's out here? Somebody else. I think I saw somebody that I absolutely need to talk to. I'm gonna, let me put on my bulletproof vest. Let me put on my bulletproof vest. I know this is coming. Sexy Red.
Shut your up. Let me tell you something.
What?
I called you a fat fuck. I so did. Because you know why? You sorry ass ratty raccoon. Let's get it down. Because you let a white man call me a color cut. Okay? And when I was up here minding my business, not being mean and nothing. And the reason why I'm fucking mean to these sorry ass people is because they come in my inbox calling me that N-word and shit. So fuck you and fuck anything about you. You are white trash, just like them. And what?
God damn it, I love you. Let me tell you something, though.
I know your dick is hard. That's Because I was up here minding my business, saying my black lane. And I said, I said this, I love my black and brown excellence. All these babies graduating and stuff.
And they welcomed you back the right way. Let me just say this to you, gangster. I get your point, colored C word. I get your point. But if somebody says something, let me.
See, that's what hurt me.
I just laughed at you calling me all those names, gangster. You just said all that shit about me, and what did I do? I laughed at that too.
You white. I have no respect for your ugly ass no more. Because let me tell you, I was up here. I was praising our black and brown kids. I was saying I was loving their excellence, how they was graduating and stuff. That's what I was saying. I had nothing to say about the white man. And then you say, well, with the white excellence, I'm not white. I don't need to say all that about white excellence. I'm not white. I was saying about black and brown excellence, how they talk bad shit, but yet our babies are graduating and stuff. I was saying that. And then that white ass fat fucking man, he's saying, she's just a white cunt, colored cunt. Well, let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna say it politely as I can. I do not take this shit off of TikTok, but I will start taking it off of TikTok. It's very easy to find these white trailer trash asses, and I'll get my family to go after them.
Well, don't. That's one of the threaten violence on the side. Don't try not to do it on the program.
Let me tell you, you should see what the shit they say in.
I believe you. I believe you. Hold on.
DMs though.
Then address them on the inbox. I can't accept.
That's why I go hard on their ass, Tim. I'm not like you. I'm not doing it. Yes, master. No, I'm gonna come straight ham on because the shit that they say in my DM is disgusting. Okay.
Well, the point I'm making is, I'm just a free speech kind of guy. I mean.
Well, guess what? Let me tell you about free speech kind of guy with your Negro looking.
Thank you. At least I'm not white now. I'm Negro looking now.
I hate speech though. It doesn't help that, honey bunny. And let me tell you something. I still want my divorce paper signed.
I'm not signing them motherfuckers. I'm not signing. You ain't gonna serve me. I'm gonna go out of town, so I won't be served.
Tim, with your rowdy raccoon looking ugly ass. Let me tell you something. Hate speech is not under freedom of speech, and freedom of speech is only for the government.
Calling you the two C's he used, that is protected by freedom of speech. That's not a crime.
It's not. Colored cunt is not. That's racist. That is racist.
There is no officer or law in the books that's gonna punish him for saying something like that. He can say it right to your face. That's not a law. That's not a violation.
See, but let me tell you something. You laughed about it though. But you pushed back on me saying, if
I laughed at all of the. You just told. Hold on. Wifey, they took her off. Gangster grandma. Oh shit. Welcome home. They took her off the program. It happens. But what I was going to tell her is, that's you know, there are some folks out there that handle certain things by laughing, smiling, even things that are not things you should be. There are people who have been getting arrested for murder and they were laughing and the cops thought, well, why do you think this is funny? They didn't. It's just a response. It could just be a response. But Gangsta grandma, now she says she don't respect me anymore, but here's the crazy thing is, apparently she used to respect me, because if you don't respect me anymore, that means you used to. I can't tell the difference. All of her conversations are the same. I love me some Gangsta grandma, but I can't tell the difference when she respects me or don't. But I'll tell you this, South KFC also says I don't respect you. But South KFC, I'm glad to have you here regardless, respect or not. You don't have to respect the host on the free speech program, damn it. You're welcome here anytime. Looking in the comments, Evil B Babu says, Tim, this is where you got to step down and you got to get another woman to replace you and let the two girls fight it out. That's your counterattack. Well, you may not be in that environment where you can do that. Every guy doesn't know a girl that's on standby ready to fight, and you may be getting attacked by a girl that may kick your girl's ass. I mean, you may be getting hit by Queen Latifah. You may not know any Queen Latifah folks that can counter her, so you may have to do the job yourself. But the point I'm making is, if somebody is beating on you, I don't think their gender removes your right to self-defense. I just don't think their gender removes that. I think that the fact is, if you're talking physical, by the way, I was talking verbal, but even in terms of physical, the notion is a man shouldn't put his hands on a woman because he knows he's stronger than her. That is true. He does know he's stronger than her, but he ain't the only one that knows that. And that's my point is he know he's stronger than you. You do too. So are they not accountable for that? There's a reason why you don't see rabbits attacking lions. The rabbit is smart enough to know it ain't going to end well. But the woman is not held accountable. You're 100 pounds smaller than this guy. Why are you hitting him? Well, because according to the rules, I can do that. He can't hit me back. Some nice rules, aren't they? Those are some nice rules. Looking in the comments, had to switch channels. Too many liberals on the other one. Says coconuts are real. Well, coconuts, we welcome you to this side of the aisle. Looking in the comments, let's talk Tim a pit name Furbar. We'll get to you. Like I said, we're setting the timer at 10 because I do want to cover as many of you folks as possible. I do want to see if I can mix the audience up somewhat. We'll go to MAGA Reacts. MAGA, good evening.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm in the trenches, man. Am I siding with you folks too much? No, you're Egyptian. You're not white, but you pass for white. Am I siding with the white folks too much?
No, you're not siding with us. You're just talking. You're representing the side, but you're not agreeing with us. Same shit like I try to do. I try to explain to you what Trump is thinking, but I don't agree with everything Trump says. Just these people are too dumb to tell the difference. Just because you're covering their side and saying what the right thinks doesn't mean you agree with it. But they're just too dumb to realize the difference.
Am I letting guests get away with abusing African Americans on the program?
No, not at all. They're mostly African Americans. You get very little white guests.
Yeah, I've been trying. You know how it is. You start criticizing MAGA, and all of a sudden your audience gets darker. I've been trying. It ain't like that. I ban, block, or censor MAGA in any way.
Look, my problem with you is not you criticizing MAGA. Is when you completely misunderstand MAGA. That's the problem. You can criticize all you want, but when you're getting everything wrong and it doesn't even make sense to debate with you because you don't understand the words that we're saying, you're missing context, you're missing
shit.
Verbal. I mean, sometimes you just ignore simple context.
Yeah, because some of this shit is crazy. You guys try to tell us that Charlie Kirk is hanging out in the hood. Some of the shit we can look. My race is
he's from Chicago.
No,
from fucking Alabama.
He's from Arlington fucking Heights. He ain't from Chicago. He's from Arlington Heights, about 30 miles out. He's about 30 miles outside the city.
You think I know the difference between Chicago and Arlington Heights?
They don't speak on it then.
Bro, he's closer.
He ain't from nowhere near Chicago. He is. You can barely even see.
He's closer to Chicago than some white cracker from Alabama. How about that?
Well, shit. He's not from anywhere. He's from. I don't even think you can see the Sears Tower from Arlington Heights. He's not. And the Sears Tower is a tall 100-some-odd story building. You can see from anywhere in Chicago. He lives just like you can see the Stratosphere from anywhere in Vegas. He lives outside of the range of being able to see that shit. He's not in Chicago. He's like 30 miles outside of the town. I think nowhere near Chicago.
I'm just saying he's still a lot closer than most.
You got a guest.
It's not from.
You got a guest. Apparently.
Did you say anything worth debating?
Apparently, you said something. Mike, the boss, Mr. Receipts himself. What did he get wrong?
A couple things. First of all, what's up, MAGA? What's up, Tim? Couple things. When he says that you get MAGA wrong, you represent MAGA wrong, right? That's what he said.
I like to know how, but yeah.
Right.
That's not what I said. I said you're misunderstanding the words we're trying to say.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. That's the same thing.
It does get us wrong, but
MAGA reacts. Let me ask you a question. I got a question for you. If I get in your car and your car smells like cigarette smoke and you got cigarette butts in your ashtray, is it safe to assume you smoke cigarettes?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. So where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Same thing. Same analogy.
That's not true. There's smoke without fire all the time.
Hold on. I'm sticking with my analogy. It's safe to assume you're a smoker. So if the MAGA movement is surrounded by white supremacy and racist tropes and racist talk and racist people, why is it a stretch to believe? First of all, I know that the MAGA movement is racist, but I'm saying, why is it a stretch for people to assume or come to the conclusion that people that stay and follow MAGA, including Donald Trump, are associated with those same things?
Well, first of all, I'm not talking about race specifically. I'm talking about general
again,
everything. It could be a non-race related thing. So you just made, this is what I hate about you. You always make everything about fucking race.
Okay, so why are you getting angry? See, why are you getting angry? But here's the problem. Two things.
It's annoying. It gets really annoying. Can you
Well, the
just
funny
not
thing is-
fit your stereotype of being like a race baiter?
No, not at all.
That's what you
Not
are.
at all. Because here's the thing. It's funny you said that.
Like every
You're-
time we're getting along, we're having a good time.
No, it's not
Make
about
everything
getting
about
along.
race and kill the fucking mood.
Because you don't like to be uncomfortable. Well, let me ask you this. You're
I'm not being
Egyptian.
uncomfortable. We're
I'm about to tell you
having a
right
good
now.
time. I want to have a good time with you.
MAGA
Come
reacts.
up here and make it about race.
Having these conversations is not comfortable. But I'm going to ask you this.
I'm okay with that, but
you
then
were-
why
you
switch
were
the
Egypt-
mood?
You were Egyptian, right?
Yes,
You were not white.
I'm not white.
So why? Wait a minute.
Damon, you a boy.
You literally just said when Trump said you're when Tim said you're Egyptian, and he said white. You said us.
He said white passing.
No.
What do you mean by what do you?
No.
What word did I misspeak?
Because when he said white people, you said, I think that you reference us when he referenced white people.
No, I was referring us as far as the right.
No. Now
As
what
far
you
as MAGA on the right, which is full of non-whites,
hold on,
including myself.
MAGA reacts. I want you to be
We're
honest.
talking about MAGA and why a lot of MAGA talk to Tim.
MAGA
And I'm
reacts.
like, because you misunderstand what we're saying.
MAGA reacts. No, it was
Every
before that. MAGA reacts. It was before that. And I'm going to do you a solid here. Put a 1 in the chat if MAGA reacts referred to himself as us when Tim mentioned white people. And listen, man.
I heard him say it, so I know
Yeah,
he
he did say it. And here's the
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant us as MAGA.
I heard him say it.
I see myself as everything. I can see myself as black. I can see myself as white. I'm both.
You've
And I
never
mean it.
said anything that represents your Egyptian heritage at all. And I'm gonna tell you why I
don't
say
talk
that.
about Egyptian heritage on this channel. If we did, I would.
But you're not
I
white.
don't fucking just come up here to talk about myself. I'm trying to talk about everybody and what the subject is about.
So hear me out, Maggot. You got real uncomfortable when I brought up race, and you guys call it race baiting. What I call it, and people like
You do it every time.
Oh, Maggot reacts. What I'm saying, and I don't. But what I'm telling you is this. I'm telling you I don't. But I'm going to tell you this. If you think race is such a bad issue in this country, then I have to ask you, what efforts have you done to work against it?
What do you mean? I do my best not to be racist, and I treat everyone fairly.
Well, you shouldn't have to try not to be racist.
More
Let's be clear.
racist
Hold
than
on.
you do. I hire more
Bemelin,
races than you
thank
do. My life is full of every kind of race, every kind of people. I'm fucking every day, every 5 minutes is a different. I'm like Mr. International over here.
Oh, okay, but hold on. But you didn't answer my
Simple.
question.
Wait, Mike, are you insinuating that MAGA reacts himself as racist?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
Not at all. I'm not even going there. What I'm saying
3 minutes.
is MAGA reacts doesn't. You just said you try every day not to be racist. Let me give you a clue. If you have to try not to be racist, you probably are. Because it's not an effort. Listen, it's not an effort to treat people equally. It's not a fucking effort. This is why we have these conversations. I never woke up, Tim, I don't know about you. I've never woke up trying to keep my emotions together so I didn't treat someone or be racist to someone.
Well, shit, damn it, Stick got me doing it because with the blacks, I've been having to make an effort, just like I've been having to make an effort not to do that.
No, that's different. That's different. And
Michael,
let me ask you guys
This is some more race baiting bullshit right here.
See, it's not. I know because you're
Yes,
uncomfortable.
it is. Yes, it is.
You're
As a
uncomfortable.
people,
My
we
question
like
was a
to
solid.
fucking be part of a family, part of a tribe, part of whatever, you know? And it takes some work not to prefer, like I prefer an Egyptian. Like if I'm going to marry someone, I prefer an Egyptian. But if I fall in love with any other race, I'm going to fucking, fall in love with that race and marry that race.
And what's that got to do
but
with
some
anything?
people will like marry Egyptian or nothing.
No. Hear me out. No,
Talking about.
that's not
No
what I'm
matter what,
talking
you
about.
have a preference to a certain type,
That's
and
That's
then
not-
you're gonna have to work against that preference.
MAGA
sometimes.
reacts. No, you don't. That's not what
You
I'm
don't
saying.
prefer black people?
Here's what I'm
White
saying.
people over black people, or
MAGA reacts.
Prefer-
MAGA reacts. Why do you
You
do
have
this?
no
to me?
taste.
Why are we having this? Of course I do. But let me ask you a question. Because
Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
you're just
I don't have
rambling,
no taste.
sir. MAGA reacts. You're
I'm
just
trying to explain
rambling.
myself, okay? I'm trying to give you my perspective.
2 minutes.
That's not what I asked you, though. That's not
You
what I
just
asked
made
you.
this whole rant about how, why do you have to work to be not racist? I'm
No,
like,
I
it's
didn't
not-
say why. I didn't say why. I specifically said you shouldn't have to wake up and work on not being racist if you're not fucking racist.
I'm saying everyone needs to work on it, including black people, because
I
they're
don't-
racist
listen,
in their own way.
Black people
to other
cannot be
people.
fucking racist.
Everybody-
And I'm gonna listen.
Yes, they can. Everybody
cannot.
can be a racist. Everybody could be whatever.
They
And we don't
cannot.
have to work about treating everyone equal.
Listen.
It's not-
Listen. MAGA, can you just take a deep breath for a second? Because you done got all riled up. But see, Tim, you remember when I told you, and this is normal, people don't like to be uncomfortable at anything.
True.
But they check this out. But they will work on being uncomfortable at everything but race. When it's time to get back in shape, what's it gonna take, Tim? You're gonna be uncomfortable. You're gonna be sore. You're gonna be out of breath. But if you really want that physique, you will put the work in. The one thing this country will never has not done is put the work in. Now, MAGA reacts. I'm talking about race.
Bullshit.
They put it. Wait, Mike. You telling me the country ain't put in no work
We
to
are
it?
putting work.
Yeah, they put in a lot of
Talk
work,
about it
Mike.
all the fucking time.
They
Are
put
you
it.
guys- were you asking me, Tim?
You telling me the country has put in no work at all to try to avoid being racist?
No. They haven't put in enough work.
Oh.
They
It's
haven't
never
put in
going to be enough work for you. And if there's
Wait, hold
enough
on.
work, then you
Hold on,
don't
MAGA
have
reacts.
nothing to talk about. What are you
MAGA
racist
reacts.
about? If they actually
MAGA reacts. I wish you would instead of fighting back on what I'm saying, listen. That's part of the problem. You think I'm the problem. That's your fucking
You
problem.
are part of the problem. You're not the
it's-
fucking solution.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
Okay, well, hold on.
You fucking put us up against each other, even though me and Tim and most of us have so much in common.
Have I done that?
Came up here and
Depends. I mean, to him, you have. I'm gonna have to break you guys apart for time. Mike, I will end up coming back to you, and I got to finish up with him. But I mean, to him, he thinks you race bait. That's his reality. I didn't really hear it in this conversation like that, but that's his reality.
Because I don't
just came up here and asked everything he said was about race. How is that not race baiting?
Because you said it. I just challenged what you said.
I was just talking to Tim. We're chit chatting, having a good time, and you came up here. I was like, "Oh,
See,
what
Tim?
are you
All right.
talking about?"
Drop
Mike,
me down. Drop me down after this.
All
Drop
right.
me down after this.
Okay.
What
I
did you
told
say?
you.
How did you
Let
say
him
it?
let
That's big, Tim.
Maga, let him get the last word, and we'll continue. Go ahead.
You drop me down. And you bring back up. I told you this before. They like talking to you because you make them feel comfortable. The minute they get uncomfortable with you, they will not talk to you. That's what he said. We're up here comfortable, having a good time, and then here your ass come. I'm telling you.
We're going to talk about why they feel comfortable. Say that for you and I when we talk. Mike, thank you. All right, so Maga reacts. I can't remember.
Absolute bullshit. He does the same thing in other lives too, including Stick Darula's life. We're all chit chatting, me, Gen X, even fucking grandma was there. We're all chill. Even King Finn was there. We're all there chilling, talking shit. He shows up, the whole mood instantly changes. And it
Thank you,
fucking
Cedric.
goes, what the hell? All those people who got nothing in common were getting along, and he showed up, fucking just pointed out how some bullshit that Gen X said that was racist in some other live, and he fucking killed the mood. And he does this every fucking time. We could be talking about anything, and he'll make it about race.
Well,
Today it was specifically about race, but he takes any subject and makes it about race. And that's why I think he's a race baiter. Maybe I'm not using the term correctly, but that's what I mean when I say race baiter. Because
Okay.
he makes everything about race.
all right. Now I can't remember what I was fucking asking you. Now, but real quick before we continue, he has some fans because Mike, Evil B Babu says Mike is the doctor trying to give a feeling, and Maga reacts as the patient. He doesn't like getting dental work. It's just going to have to be uncomfortable. How do you feel about him suggesting though? Because he says that I make you folks feel comfortable. I have to hear him explain and elaborate on that. But what do you think he means by that? When he says that I make your side of the aisle. I make white folks feel comfortable.
I don't know. I guess you're an easygoing guy, but you're easygoing with everybody. It's not like, and you also trip us up, and you make me uncomfortable all the time with your fucking questions. So sometimes you are, sometimes you're not. But of course, he only pays attention to when we're getting along. He doesn't pay attention to all the times we fucking fight.
Yeah,
we're also nicer. We don't call you names. We didn't get on here and fucking call you names like they do. We don't call you fluffer or call you the C word or any of that shit.
Normally I wouldn't let you bash liberals like that, but you are right. I mean, I told Stick that last night when I was in this live. I was like, I've been doing this for 4 years. I've never had my Caucasian guests or my MAGA guests say as many insults as you guys are saying to me tonight. It was bad. They were saying all kinds of horrible. Stick didn't really do it as much, even though they created a picture of me with Clarence Thomas's face superimposed on it. But yeah,
to be honest, it's stupid, but it's funny. But it's a funny.
It's very funny. I laughed. I reposted it. It was so funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But look how it turned. And I'm wondering who turned it from a funny thing to you wanted to have some fun with them and have fun with the stereotype they created out of nothing. And look how they turned it.
So how can I make this shit right? Let me ask you before I run out of time with you. How do I make this show better? Obviously, half of my audience don't give a shit about what you have to say, but I want to hear it. How do I make the show better? What am I getting wrong?
The only thing you need to do don't do it, because if they get it their way, it'll just be a circle jerk. You don't want a circle jerk.
I got you. I got to get you. I think I know what you're talking about, but I got to get you to define what the hell is a circle jerk.
That's when everybody talks about the same thing and they're just jerking each other off because they're all saying what they want to hear. And there's no opposition. So it's one person saying something, jerking off the next person, then jerking off the next person. They're just going in circles saying the same shit. They're just saying the same shit that they
So in other words, I'd be Trump and all my assistants at the Oval Office are standing around me. Kind of like that?
Yeah, those fucking meetings. I hate them because they are circle jerks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of Trump's problems right now. Like, he's got too many. Yeah, he's getting circle jerked.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. That's a good fucking analogy right there.
Yeah, I call it an echo chamber. And I see Big Dog in the comments said the same thing. That's generally
another way to say it.
It's an echo chamber. Yeah.
Way to say it.
And I said the same thing, that if I ran the show the way they're talking about, I would have African-American liberals. That would be my whole audience. It would be African-American liberals. I mean, it's kind of like what you're talking about, a circle jerk. Because that's what I was amongst last night on that side. I was the only opposition. It was all blacks, and everybody was against me, and they all had the same opinion. I was like, I'm the only opposing person here. It was an echo chamber.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons I tend to get more time and get on here early, and I know that. But on the other hand, if there was anyone, when fucking Straight Talk came, I immediately got replaced by him because he was a fresh voice and he was a little different. And you were using him, and I was like, yeah, that's fine. I only come up here this much because I know you need more MAGA. But if there was other MAGAs saying the right things, I would just let them say it. I don't want to fucking be up here talking to you. Let someone else say it.
You're welcome anytime, Mac Rex. But Straight Talk was my right-wing gangster grandma. He was like that. Straight Talk was kind of like a right-wing gangster grandma.
So two last comments.
Sure.
One comment is the only solution you have is to get like a MAGA co-host, not me, someone else that's more close to like you, but MAGAs. Just a MAGA co-host to strictly say the MAGA shit, and you say the left shit, and just let him take all the heat for the MAGA shit instead of you trying to represent MAGA. That's one way to solve it. So
that ain't gonna fucking work, cause that ain't gonna fucking work, cause the black people already think I'm MAGA my damn self. They would be like, it's just too MAGA up there. They think I'm fucking MAGA.
You could just represent their side, and this way they can't say you're fluffing because you're always gonna be the left side. Because that's what they want. They want you to be only the left. So you need someone to take on the role of the right. That's the only solution. Otherwise, then keep doing what you're doing because it's perfect, and that's why your show keeps getting bigger.
Thank you.
And the only mistake you made the other night with calling her a bitch and not defending her is she's a white bitch. She's not a...
No, this person was black. This was a black woman I said that to.
I mean, are we talking about grandma or someone else?
No, this is somebody else. This was another woman.
Oh, never mind then.
Okay.
No, if she's attacking you and cursing you out, she's being a bitch. That's what she is. I don't care what color she is.
Well said.
You know?
MAGA Reacts, thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. All right, folks, tap the screen. Get us on up to 65,000. We'll take the next caller. Shanti says, Lord. Mike the Boss is trying to say, shut the fuck up. That's a training day question. That's some Denzel thinking. Sometimes it goes down like that, Evil. Saying those things about Republicans is like saying all Democrats are intelligent. Your show is over. You have no platform. What are you saying there, handsome conservative? Saying what things about Republicans is like saying all Democrats are intelligent. I don't understand. I'm late getting that comment, so I'm actually reading it at this point out of context. Hey, Mike, after all that work, if it's uncomfortable, or are you giving out any candy or lollipops, all that work? Mike puts in some work, but obviously MAGA Reacts doesn't like it. Get your boy up to 65,000. We don't black ban or censor. The program is still MAGA friendly, and I'm continuing to take heat. A lot of folks do not even like me saying the show is MAGA friendly or waving around the MAGA hat. I got folks who make it clear that if you even talk to MAGA at this point, you support racism. They're that certain that Trump is anti-black, anti-minority, anti-Hispanic, that if you even talk to MAGA, you support racism or you are a racist. Either one. I get it all. I do hear that. Looking in the comments here, please tell me Straight Talk isn't coming back like okay. SGB, I do believe that's the case. I don't think he's coming back. I get your argument on MAGA not being racist, but the rhetoric their supporters also associates with is far right and racist. True. I don't disagree with any of that. I don't disagree. I don't believe 100% of MAGA are racist, but I do believe with MAGA, and racist toward blacks, because I do believe blacks can be racist too. But when it comes to people who are racist towards minorities, I don't believe all MAGA are racist towards minorities. I believe racism is not a deal breaker for them, no. Some folks vote based on other issues, and they don't care. I'm not black. I'm a white person, or I'm Asian. My family is at no risk of it happening to me. He's going to give me a good economy, or he's going to help my stocks. That's not my fight. I had a friend of mine who is MAGA tell me, that's not my fight. There are people that view it that way. Right or wrong, there are folks who vote based on what is concerning them and their family. And if other people are being negatively affected by the policies of the president, if it ain't affecting them, they don't care about it. There are plenty of folks like that. Let me just tell it to you this way. Growing up in the hood on the south side of Chicago, anybody that grew up in the hood, you know people who are out there committing capers, breaking in people's cars, stealing catalytic converters, ripping copper off the back of people's houses. They may have even approached you and tried to sell it to you. Your response is, as long as they ain't doing it to my shit, I'm not going to get involved. You just want to go to work and live your life. You know this person is in your neighborhood doing bad shit to other people. As long as it ain't happening to you, a lot of folks turn a blind eye. That is the way the hood goes. Everybody knows somebody in the neighborhood that's in and out of jail, that's selling stolen merchandise, property, all of that shit. That's in most hoods. As long as they ain't doing it to you, they ain't doing it to they selling drugs, whatever, committing crimes. As long as it ain't happening to you, you turn a blind eye. You don't pick up the phone and call the cops. You don't warn people that it's happening to nothing. So when I say for some people, they focus on what concerns them and they turn a blind eye to other people being affected. That happens. And that happens in the hood a lot. I see Aaron says not necessarily, but it happens a lot. Not necessarily is not exactly you saying it don't happen. It happens a lot. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. In the comments, Democrats hate America. That's a fact. When they call Trump a fascist, and Trump and Caroline Leavitt and J.D. Vance is on television claiming that calling him a fascist is what's leading to people trying to take his life, I'm going to tell you something. If you're okay saying the whole party of people hate America, my opinion is totally okay to call him a fascist. Because you got a whole lot of folks. We just had Memorial Day just fucking yesterday. You realize how many Democrats are in the fucking grave, died fighting on behalf of this country? The notion that Democrats all hate America is fucking bullshit. There are plenty of Democrats died in the uniform, died while fighting wars on behalf of this country. Period. And I'm going to leave it at that. Period. Died on behalf of this damn country, just like Republicans and independents do. Democrats hate the country. That's fucked up. Mike, your turn.
Yeah, so listen, you just did it. So I wanna when I told you make them feel comfortable, you just did it. And I'm gonna tell you why.
What is wrong? By the way, what is wrong with that? Should I make them feel uncomfortable?
No. Here's what I mean. You just gave an analogy from you growing up in the hood. I'm using my air quotes. In the hood, and then you started talking about crime. Now, and you gave an analogy from our neighborhoods, which feeds into their stereotype of us. But you don't do it the other way around. You don't say anything about... Because
I'm not going to say whites, because we're talking about a white racist, and I'm giving you a black example.
No. I know. And you can give me an example without feeding into the stereotypes, because this...
Was it wrong? Was what I said inaccurate?
I'm sorry, it wasn't absolute. And this is what I was telling you before. It doesn't need to be all. Listen, this movement on the other side, and again, you hear me say this all the time. I'm gonna say it again. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. On the other side, they tokenize everything. One is enough. One Lincoln Riley was enough. One of this isn't enough. One black man saying 1350 is confirmation bias for them, and they get to go see. Even they think that way. Even if that's not what you mean.
But let me discuss something. The idea that it's wrong to vote for Trump and ignore racism, and me comparing that and saying it's wrong for you to live in a hood and ignore criminals, I shouldn't bring that up. I shouldn't say that.
No, what I'm saying is when you're sitting here having this discussion and your beloved MAGA, let me say this, Tim. Do you believe that your beloved MAGA buys into the racial stereotypes of the black community?
Plenty of them do, yes.
And do you believe discussing it without further context helps soften their ideology or strengthen it?
Depending on the viewer. And let me just say this. When you say buying into the racial stereotypes of the black community, I talk to liberals every day that buy into the racial stereotypes of the white community, and I don't take the direction that you're telling me I should take on whites. I don't do it on blacks either.
No, I'm not telling you to take any direction. I'm telling you that when people are listening, like the DJ Julios and the Straight Talks and the Gen X's, and they hear that shit, you look in the comments, they be right on, and the Cedric Hayneses and the Stevie D's, right on, and yes. And
that's what happens, Mike. That's what happens. If I got a liberal on here like Gangsta Grandma or somebody on the left pointing out racial stereotypes of whites, I'm going to have a whole bunch of liberals in the comments saying right on too. That's what happens.
Again, the context and the discussion and the structure does matter. And that's just what I believe, Tim, because I know how fast this shit goes. You have somebody like MAGA Reacts that sat here and said that I was race baiting because he doesn't want to. No, listen, this country does not want to tackle racism the way it needs to be. Else we wouldn't be having this conversation, Tim. This is 2026. And we are talking about rolling back protections in this country for black and brown people by the government that is absolutely attacking our
rights.
protected rights.
Yeah.
It's not even up for debate. So if somebody is willing to do that, and when they get on here and they go 1350 and black fathers need to be in the home, and they go, well, it's true. Well, it's true. They haven't read stats at all.
Now that I push back on all the time because Charlie Kirk said that shit, and I brought up Trump as an example. I could just say that black fathers need to be in the home and all this shit and not sleep around when you're voting for Trump. He did all of that. I do push back on that.
But what you stop short of is calling Charlie Kirk who he was and what he was. And what Charlie Kirk was racist.
You never heard me say that?
I haven't. Maybe you have. Maybe,
yeah.
Let me back up. I haven't heard you say, no, he just flat out fucking racist.
Yeah, absolutely. I've said plenty times on that. I still keep a whole list of his quotes. So when people say, why is he racist? I've kept it by the desk. Yeah, the guy don't like Martin Luther King and all this shit. Yeah, what he was saying was fucking racist. And I brought that up plenty of times.
And again, when we have these conversations and we talk about race and we speak, You grew up in the same kind of, well, and I don't know this, but I'm going to ask you this question. When I grew up in the house, you grew up in the house. For us, there was shit you said inside the house, and there's shit you didn't say outside the house.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is people have gotten so comfortable on this app to say things. We have to push back on this idea that we're fucking no good savages that don't take care of our women and children and we're lazy. If we push back, why would you listen? What I just said does not deserve to be pushed back softly, Tim. That's what I'm telling you.
Well, now here's where I get in trouble with African Americans. When you say you got to push back and let them know we're not savages and all of this shit, that would also mean, if I'm going to be fair, I got to push back when people say all kinds of awful shit about white people too. Then, right? I mean, I'm not here to just defend blacks, am I?
No, you're right. And again, Tim, and again, this is the problem. This is the problem. If people are coming up here saying things historically out of context or that are not true, you should push back. You know me. I call a spade a spade. I call it for what it is. But every time we're pushing back because the conversations are always about the horrors of the black community and never about the horrors of this country.
I gotta disagree with you. Hold on. I had Stick. Hold on. I had Stick. I think it was Stick or one of them, Kingpin or somebody, just a few shows back told me we have made no progress in America as black people. I said, this is 2026. I said, are you telling me we haven't made progress over the people in 1926? He said, yes. He said, we haven't made any progress as African Americans from 1926. What the hell am I supposed to do with that?
Well, if you don't agree, say you don't agree.
Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I don't agree with that. And again, but here's the thing though, Tim. What I was saying to you is, I want you to tell me the last time you've had a MAGA supporter come on your line and say anything positive about any other minority community.
I don't know.
Did I go on mute? Did my sister
No, I mean, it ain't. No, I haven't heard him say. I'm thinking. No, I haven't heard him say anything positive like that.
And so you got to ask yourself why, right? Like Cool Steve guy, black on black crime 73%. Steve guy, do this for me real quick. Show me the stat on white crime. He's actually proving my point, Tim.
How do you respond to? Hold on. How do you respond to James in the comments? So you said, "Have I had any MAG on the program say anything good about the black community?" He said, "Why would we?" I mean, because I don't get blacks saying good things about white people either. So I mean, that ain't kind of what people come on the show and do.
No, but here's the thing, Tim. This is why race gets pulled into it. Every political topic we speak about is rooted in race. This administration, this president takes everything that this country is and demonizes it along racial lines. Everything. So we're having these conversations in defense of how we're being portrayed by the president. Every community has their problems. Every community.
Okay.
Hands down. But it's ironic that the right talks about everybody else's issues and not their own, and they expect every other community to be 100% accountable of their community. But they don't talk about shit in their own community. That's a fact. That's what I just said.
Wait. Repeat that again.
Every MAGA white America likes to talk about the struggles and what ails every other community. But they never talk about theirs. They don't talk about theirs at all. When we do, like in the comments, we become quote unquote victims. But they don't. But here's the thing, Tim. Now you tell me where this ever works. If white people have controlled 90% of the wealth in this country, 90% of elected positions, 98% of all presidential positions, 98% of all vice presidential positions, they control the banks, they control the economic structure. They built this shit. And all of a sudden, the ills of this country fall back on the people that don't control shit?
That's a hard one.
You do that at?
That's a hard one to swallow at the upper levels. But some of the ills of the country they're talking about are stuff like crime and stuff, which is not going to be managed by banks and things like that.
But that's not true. What's the number one crime? What's the number one crime in the country?
But we're talking street crime is what they're talking about.
I know what they're talking about. That's my point. But what's the number one crime in this country?
Fuck if I know.
Wage theft. And who controls the wages, Tim?
Wage?
Look it up.
Wage?
Wage.
How is wage theft? Who goes to jail for wage theft?
Nobody. That's my.
So it's not a crime then. If you're not going to jail for it, it ain't a crime.
Yeah, that's bullshit. If I steal your car, that was a crime. Just because I didn't get caught does not make it less.
Is there an official law in the books that says wage theft is a violation?
It's a crime.
So it's a crime that's written on the books, punishable by law.
Yes,
I ain't never heard of that.
absolutely.
How do you steal somebody's wages? What do you mean? Like if you have a Hispanic working for you, you don't pay them?
Wage theft. If you don't pay somebody overtime, wage theft. If
Okay.
you're not paying,
All right.
if you're not paying them the wages they should be making.
Okay. I get it. Well, let's be clear, Mike. Since the beginning of the time, maybe this is where the white man comes in, what you're talking about, but white collar crimes have never been punished to the level of blue collar crimes. I
Why
mean,
is that?
it could be race. Could be race because we don't commit. Most of the crimes we commit are not white collar crimes.
Again, who delineated the difference of crimes, the penalties of crimes? Who created that delineation, Tim?
It wasn't us.
Exactly. So who was it? Go ahead and say it.
It was the powers that be. The powers that be.
And this is the thing. When I have these conversations, and I forgot who it was in the comments. Who was it? MAGA something? I just want to be very clear. I think it was MAGA homepage that said in the comments, and this is why I like this. Holy shit, is there anything you are not a victim of? MAGA homepage, I will guarantee you I have been more successful, seen more things, done more things for people on this planet than you've ever seen. But see, here's the problem. You think because I'm speaking out means that I somehow feel like I personally have been held back. I personally have done what I needed to do, but I know it's not easy. But I know it's easy for you guys to call people victims because you haven't really had to go through shit. And I'm not talking about you haven't had to go through, a hard time in your life. I'm saying when you wake up in the morning, that there's certain things that never cross your mind that are systemic in this country. If you have children and you have white children, you never had the conversation. I don't even need to elaborate on that because every black person knows when I say, have you had the talk or the conversation with your children?
Oh shit!
They know what it is.
Yeah, our time was getting low, but you got to guess. You got to guess. MAGA reacts. Welcome.
Yeah, you're lucky it took me forever to figure out my fucking password. Bro, you're so full of shit. Why are you even talking about wage theft? What does it have to do with fucking anything?
Is it a crime?
Stealing from the full.
Is it a crime?
It's a crime, if anything. It's usually done by accident or by fucking laziness.
It's not. And now look, you brought your raggedy ass up here to have this conversation, and you said it's done by accident. So watch this, Jim.
Any boss, any business owner.
MAGA reacts. If it's done by accident, tell me why MAGA, yourself, your whole movement is trying to get immigrants out of the country because they are impacting wages. Who is hiring them, MAGA reacts?
Freaking, who knows? Everybody hires. Everybody hires the
You
legal.
brought your slithery ass up here.
You're making this all about race, and it's not. It's
Answer
about
my question.
saving money, and it's about poor business
Answer
trying
my
to
question.
survive and being lazy and not having the right accounting.
MAGA reacts.
Just bad accounting.
That has nothing to do with it. Now you're not being honest. And now, so go back to this, MAGA reacts.
It's not about being honest. It's
If the
different from
corporate-
state to state.
MAGA
depending on
reacts.
labor
MAGA
laws
reacts.
and
MAGA
overtime
reacts.
requirements.
MAGA reacts.
Hold on, hang on a second. Mr. Keith, if you're wanting to join us, I saw the Galaxy. Put in your request. You're not in there. Go ahead, gentlemen.
So MAGA reacts. You came up here to have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. Wage theft is the #1 crime in this country. Corporations are the ones that either hire and or fire. The buck has to stop with somebody. You can't
So it's a
keep making.
crime done by the 1%, and we're the 99%. Are we not?
And again, Google what I said. Is wage theft the
Are
#1
we-
crime or not?
Let me.
It's all like the 1%. I say
Google
you're
it, Tim.
the left.
Yeah, hold on. Before I do that, I want you guys to give me a quick answer on this question because I'm gonna let both of you less than a minute each. But Burning 47 says DEI is literal racism and sexism. It's not merit. Give me a quick answer, MAGA. Give me a quick answer, Mike.
Yeah, it's reverse racism. Period.
Mike.
It's not reverse racism. It's
Somehow I wasn't going to agree.
But Tim, it's just so funny, Tim. It's literally an acronym for four words: diversity,
Equity and inclusion.
Well, hold on. I like to walk through this since they like to bring this shit up.
Yeah, just because something is labeled something doesn't make it what it is.
Can you finish? Can you let me finish? Oh, I'm glad you said that because we'll get to your acronym in a second. So
I'm sure you will.
Yeah. See, you're not equipped for this, Maggie. You should have just stayed down.
Shut the fuck up. You're not equipped. I can say you're not equipped for it all the time. It's like this is Mr. Fake Receipts. He says you're not equipped, so it must be true.
No,
you're fucking not equipped, and your receipts are fake as fuck, just like you.
Yeah, no. Why are you getting so upset?
Just because you do this. You do this all the time. It's like, oh, you're losing. You're losing. Just saying you're losing or that you're winning doesn't make it true.
Okay,
this
so
is
let's go back to
opinion, and it's subjective.
Cool. Okay, cool.
If this audience was all fucking MAGA, they'd be fucking chewing your ass out.
Okay, let me hear his take on DEI. Let me hear his take on DEI,
Make
Maggie.
me wrong. Diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. By the definition of those four words and the way it was applied,
is another word now? Is an A at the end now?
there was always an A at the end.
I'm sure.
There was always an A at the end.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sure it was.
There was always an A at the end. When I tell you,
receipts. Go get me
what
some.
you got to do is, Tim, just pull it up on your screen behind you, please.
What is the question?
While we're talking.
What am I pulling up?
Diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. It was always there.
I never.
You know who took it? The Trump administration, listen, Tim, all of this shit was by design. The DEI, CRT, woke, all of these things that they demonize that are not the definitions, and then turn around and use a white supremacist slogan from the triple A. In America first and make America great. And
It's all by design. Trump is not that smart. He's an idiot. Don't we agree on that he's an idiot? How did an idiot design all this shit?
Yeah, the A is accurate. It does say accessibility. That is accurate.
Okay. Can we move on now, MAGA?
Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So the reason you asked is he an idiot? He's mediocre. Yes, he got a that have put the time in to study how to dismantle the black community historically in this country. Kevin Roberts, you got to go do your research. Don't talk about my research. They went to school. They studied this shit. The fact that you don't know that is not a Michael problem. The fact that you don't understand what's going on in this country and you call it race baiting when all I'm doing is speaking to the historical context of this country is a MAGA reacts problem, not a my problem.
You're right. You're the only one bringing this shit up because it's not real. It's half bullshit. Maybe there's some truth in it. There might be some guys around him that are fucking questionable, but it doesn't mean that was his goal. Doesn't mean what he's trying to do. And he's all America versus. I mean, the reason I came up here is like you're talking about how the white community doesn't bring up their bullshit. I mean, we're not a community. The right side is not a community. Even being white is not a community.
Wait a minute.
Italian, we're a bunch of fucking nationalities.
Wait, time out. If you're not a community, then I shouldn't be able to use any demographic studies, any statistical studies to tell me anything about white folks in this country? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, what do you want me to say? Like, for the most part, we don't identify as like white. We identify as whatever we are, as American, as Egyptian, as whatever. I'm not saying Egyptian is white, but it's like the right just doesn't identify as white most of the time.
That's not true, MAGA reacts.
We use it because it's just easier that way.
Hang on, hold on a second. Hold on, Mr. Keith with the Galaxy. I don't know if you're trying to come up or not, but you're not in the request. So, but I do appreciate it. Go ahead.
Let me say this.
What is a white person?
MAGA reacts. Let me say this to you, because you're very angry.
I'm not. I'm just making sure you hear me.
No. What I'm telling you simply is this. As an American, as a human being, we have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. What do I mean? I mean that as a black man in this country, I can speak to the things that harm our community and what we need to do as a black man in the black community and work towards doing that. That's what I do. But that does not limit me from talking about the ills of this country and what this country was founded on and how I can continue to see the historical racism and the systemic racism continuing to grow in this country. I can do both.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. Thank you, Edgar, for the hat and mustache.
We don't really have a white community. Like, as a white people don't have a community. I don't know what to tell you. Like, we don't.
Again, you're not white. Stop saying that.
But even regular white folks, I don't think they see themselves as a white community.
Wait a minute, but you're not
They
white.
see themselves as Italian. They see themselves as fucking Irish. They see themselves as British.
as white. They've
As
assimilated to
American.
whiteness. Listen, Maga Reacts, here's how I know you're wrong. When Italian immigrants came to this country demonized them like everybody else. If you go back right now and Google Italian immigrant propaganda, you're going to see images that were in the newspaper back then, where they had them dark, they had them looking brown, swimming across the water, all of that shit. But what they were,
Now they're one of the whitest.
hold on, why is that? Because they came and assimilated. They said, fuck that, you either beat them or join them. Everything that was illegal in this country, white folks turned it legal and made money off of it and demonized the other people that were doing it before them. All of it.
You know what? This is why you race bait so much, because the black community is assimilating and you hate it. Tim is assimilating. Tim is older than you and is assimilating. We're all
can't
fucking
assimilate to
assimilating,
whiteness.
and you fucking hate it.
That's
why you hate me, because I assimilated.
MAGA.
But
That
no,
was you.
you gotta always point out the differences instead of like assimilating like a normal person.
Again, black people can't assimilate to whiteness.
Yes,
And let's
they
be,
fucking can.
They
Assimilate
can't.
all the time. In fact,
No, they don't. No, they don't.
In the 2000s, we're trying to assimilate to you guys.
And I'm gonna tell you why. And I know where
You
you
guys
guys are.
represented America more than we do.
All right, we got to get ready to wrap it up. Okay, Mike, you fire off the last word, and we end with MAGA. Mike, go.
Let me tell you something, MAGA Reacts. And anytime you want to listen instead of tell me historically,
Start your own
and you
mind.
let me finish.
Let him finish his point, then you'll follow up.
And you let me finish. Start reading some history books, and you'll understand that what I'm saying is historically factual. All you got to do is read. But you want to push back without doing any work. I've done the work. I continue to do the work. And if you can start to deconstruct and figure out why you've stripped your Egyptian culture completely out of your life and assimilated to whiteness, that might tell you something about yourself. You got to do the work.
That's not what
my
I
guy.
fucking said, but finish.
You got to do the work. You got to answer you got to ask the right questions.
All right.
You're not asking the right questions.
All right, Mike and MAGA, go ahead and finish it up.
Yo, this motherfucker is still living in like 1963. Like, seriously, he needs to stop reading the books and live in fucking today. Today, where most people are assimilated. We're all fucking Americans. We all get along. We all have a good time. You know, he just wants to ruin the fucking, unity, but with his racism.
But how do you respond? Like, for instance, on Clapper, I got the real Sunlight or whatever his name is, says, since Trump's been in office, racism has been rising. A lot of folks are saying that hate crimes and racism is on the rise since Trump became the 47th president. How do you respond to folks? This is their reality. This is what they're seeing. How do you respond to that?
Because the media is fucking dividing us. They're using our differences to divide us. I mean, this is like the key democratic thing. Identity
You're blaming it all. You really think it's all just the media? You don't think? Hold on. Wait a minute. You don't think Trump's? You don't think Trump's doing any dividing himself? It's just all media.
Trump was like the catalyst. He's the reason the media is doing it. Because for Trump, it's all like rich versus poor, American versus not American. I mean, when it's like race specific, it's always specific to something that happened. But overall, it's always America versus with him.
Yeah, I gotta disagree with you. I think Trump is.
Great again. He said make America, and you're American too, so he's trying to make you great again.
Yeah, but if you're removing specific tenets of Black history, for instance, you're not doing that to white people. I mean, there are areas of the Black community that he's targeting. What?
They don't really have history to remove.
What the fuck? What group of people in America? Wait, hold on. What group of people in America does not have history to remove?
No, as Italians, they have history. As Irish, they have history. As fucking British or American, they have history.
Blacks?
They don't have history as white, other than being racist.
Well, at least you do admit that. But you do admit.
That's the only thing that, like, like, as far as racism, you could identify them all as white, but as far as their history, they're not really because they're white. It's because whatever.
But what I'm saying is Trump has removed various aspects of black history. Why is he doing that?
You don't even know that he removed it or some librarian was fucking editing or updating. I don't know. MAGA. Wait, MAGA. If it's one of your departments that you're over, if they remove it, that's your administration. Period. Just like when I really doubt Trump went out of his way to like.
It don't matter. He didn't go out of his way to correct it. He didn't go out of his way to correct it.
The first thing he told them to do is to remove some history thing from the library.
No, what I'm
saying. Cares about that?
You're making this. What you're doing is you're separating Trump from his administration. It don't have to be Trump specifically. But if it happens under your administration, you're going to get blamed for it because if something goes good under his administration, he's going to get credit for it. Him specifically.
You don't necessarily know if that was like a racist thing he was doing or just something that happened and you guys just pointed it out as racist. Because everything he does could be seen is in a racist light. Like that's the problem I have with Michael. He takes everything and he sees it in a racist light. It could be racist, it could be not racist. He's gonna make it racist. And that's what you guys probably did with this. I don't know the details.
But you also believe most of his.
I would bet good money it was something not racist, and you guys just saw it happen, and you're like, oh, they're already being racist on day one. They're fucking erasing our history.
Okay, let me give you an example before I move it on. I want you to listen. It's just a minute or so of this shit, and then you give me your opinion.
Closed the Kennedy Center for about 2 years for construction, starting in July. He writes, quote, I have determined that the Trump Kennedy Center, if temporarily closed
this may not be what I'm
construction, revitalization, and complete rebuilding, Black History Month events at the Kennedy Center, where, remember, in December, Trump added his own name, of course, to the building. And I suppose that's not much of a surprise when you look at how this administration has been treating Black history artifacts and figures. The Trump administration told the National Museum of African American History and Culture to remove improper ideology and scrub exhibits that focus on systemic racism. Members of the administration have consistently minimized the horrors of slavery and discounted its foundational role in shaping America. Trump also removed memorials honoring enslaved people across the country. And it doesn't really stop at the museums. It's become pretty widespread. The Pentagon mistakenly removed and then had to restore after pushback Jackie Robinson's military biography. The same thing happened with Harriet Tubman's archives in the National Park Service. Trump also ordered national park gift shops to remove items promoting DEI, whatever that means at this point. On top of that, for weeks, he's been subjecting a Black Congresswoman, Ilhan Omar, to a consistent stream of attacks and racist rhetoric. And just this past week, his DOJ arrested 2 Black journalists for their coverage of a protest in Minneapolis. And yet none of that will stop us from celebrating.
Now, he's done more. He's also talking about Juneteenth. He's done more since that. You think all this is accidental?
I don't want to say accidental. They're taking things that have nothing to do with racism and making it racist.
Why is he removing this stuff at all?
I don't think he is. I think it's being done for whatever reason, and you guys are catching it and calling it racist.
All of this is happening for whatever. There has to be a reason. That all of this stuff, this is not a coincidence that all of this Black history all over the place, including, like I said, Juneteenth as well. They talking about getting rid of that. This is just happening for no reason at all.
Juneteenth is a different situation. Juneteenth was just added a year or 2 years ago.
So why does it gotta go?
Because they just added it and it's stupid.
What?
It's really stupid. You're gonna the holiday come out of nowhere to what's the word?
Since when do you have a job?
It's a holiday they created.
Do you have a job?
Yes.
Since when does getting a holiday off is viewed as stupid by any working American? I don't give a fuck if it's Martian Day.
Do we even get Juneteenth off?
What?
You get it off? I don't get it off.
No, so what's the big deal if they name a holiday? I mean, they got Christopher Columbus Day.
What bothers me is that you're just using it to pander, and you guys are acting like it's always been a holiday. It just became a holiday last week. You
realize how many gay marriage just became legal 10 years ago? You want to get rid of that too?
No, that's different. That's just people being together.
What is wrong with honoring the day that Blacks gained freedom? Is that bad? That's stupid to do. Hold on. You know. Let me ask you this. What the fuck does Juneteenth mean to black people? I mean, not Juneteenth, July 4th, the Independence Day, 1776. What the hell does that even mean to black people in America?
It's the day this country became a country, and we've been celebrating it all our lives. I mean, this is the country, even though this country enslaved you, it's also the country that...
What do they call that day?
What do you mean?
What do they call that holiday, July 4th?
Independence Day?
Tell me about how independent blacks became on that day. Where did they gain independence from?
That day,
Take your time. Take your time.
Independent from fucking England, including...
They didn't become independent from shit. They were owned by the slave master. It didn't matter if the guy was a member of England or not. They didn't gain no independence at all.
Do you want to be American or not? This is the real question. Do you want to be American or not?
Yeah, but I want my history to be fucking honored. I don't want to be slammed. I don't want wrong history shoved down my throat.
Also your Independence Day. If you don't see yourself as an American, then yeah, you're
This ain't got nothing to do with being American. That's like making the German guys celebrate Cinco de Mayo. It ain't got shit to do with being American. It's history that does not pertain to a group of people.
It's the day America became a country. It's the day America... I don't even know if it's actual Independence Day. Maybe you're right.
It ain't independence for the people. The people that Juneteenth honor did not get any kind of independence whatsoever on July 4th, 1776. It was just another fucking day to them. They were still in the yard, or they're still doing work around the house, or wherever the hell they were being enslaved at. That day didn't change shit for those people.
Look, Tim, I never said the day. All I said was that holiday was created to pander to black people, period.
And July 4th was
celebrated and just need to be official.
I don't see why this is that big of a deal that you want. I mean, if folks are yelling the racism word around, and we're going to respond by taking away a day that honors the day they were free from slavery and calling that stupid. Why not just say, yes, I'm a racist? I mean, this is so easy.
Because it's so obvious pandering. And you know me, I hate pandering of all types. Even pandering from the left or bending on the right. I hate pandering.
I don't see how honoring the day that ended slavery is pandering. The shit should have been recognized. This should have been recognized 200 fucking years ago. I mean, pandering?
That's not the day that ended slavery. My history is kind of shit, so they're kind of right about that. That's not isn't the Emancipation Proclamation the day slavery ended? There should be
a tribute to when. I don't give a fuck what day it officially, because Juneteenth is honoring the fact that they didn't tell the motherfuckers in Texas you've been free for the last 2 goddamn years. That's why it's Juneteenth. It's not a specific day, because everybody didn't get free on the same day. Some of these motherfuckers wanted free labor a little bit longer than the law allowed, so they call it Juneteenth. Let these people have a goddamn day to honor the day they were free. Is that really that hard to do?
Like I said, that's not what I'm objecting to. The reason I'm objecting
shouldn't be objecting to any of this shit.
They did to pander to black people. It is created by white people to pander to black people.
Then pander, goddammit.
The Democratic Party does. Like, you think they're trying to fight racism and they want equality and all that shit? They don't give a fuck. They're just pandering. Also, what they do is pandering, and that's why I'm against it.
I'm gonna tell you something, and I do gotta move it on, but I'm gonna tell you something. There are so many Americans in this country that went all the way through K through 12 and don't know when slavery ended. The fact that this holiday exists, maybe this would educate a few folks, because they weren't even teaching us in schools. They clearly did not want to free slaves, because they didn't even honor the day it happened. So Juneteenth, folks are walking around like, what the hell does this even mean? They didn't even know when it happened. So it ain't just a holiday, it's an educational lesson in some cases. Last word to you.
But it's not really, because it's like you said, it wasn't like one day that slavery ended. And you could mark, like I said, I think January 1st, 1863, Emancipation Proclamation when slavery ended. You should celebrate that day.
Should that be a holiday? Should that be a holiday? Should that be a holiday? The day you said they should celebrate.
If it's not a holiday, that should be the holiday.
Okay. I'll take that as a half victory.
Word, though. You know what pandering means, right?
Yeah, you're just doing something to please somebody.
Exactly, and that's all the Democrats do. They pander more than they actually help you.
Are you serious? You just admitted all these motherfuckers standing around Trump in the Oval Office kissing his ass. What did you call it? A circle jerk? But only Democrats pander, huh?
No, the right panders too.
Thank you.
The left, I just don't like the way the left panders.
They
pander way more.
your side is pandering on live TV. You got world leaders watching. You got world leaders watching people in the Oval Office sucking his dick. It's like the Clintons is back in office all over again. They're literally watching
I don't
this
like
shit.
pandering on either side. I like you said, I called it out with Trump too. I called it out with the circle jerk.
You're coming around, Mac. I gotta go. Appreciate you coming through.
Last word.
Hurry the fuck up.
Panders more with less results. The right gives you some results. I think the right has way better results.
All right.
Just panders more.
Get off the stage. You're a bad comedian. I gotta go. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 95,000 if you will. Let your thumbs not be lazy. This is uncensored free speech. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Where is Gangsta Grandma? Gangsta Grandma's already come in winner, Aletha. She's been on the program. We couldn't let Gangsta Grandma go. Come on now. Got her on a leash. Pull her back. You ever see Mortal Kombat? Get over here. Looking in the comments. No, I can't even pronounce this name. I'm going to have to read this one with my spectacles on. Does I say not Nasia Viking? I know I'm fucking this one up. I hate butchering names. I'll just say Viking, the last half of it. It says a lot of black people worked very hard to get Juneteenth recognized. That is true. And that would not have succeeded under Trump administration. Biden made Juneteenth legal. What was it, 2021, I think? If Trump had won in 2020, Juneteenth would not be a holiday right now. I'm fairly certain of that because he's already indicated it don't need to be a holiday now. And you've heard MAGA what he said, so that holiday would not exist. I'm wondering, with all of his very critical, hateful messages he sends most holidays that are usually attacking the left, I'm wondering if they're not going to pull Juneteenth back. It's very popular with MAGA to get rid of Juneteenth. But we were just discussing with MAGA Reacts. That's kind of how most MAGA feel. Now, at least he did say a different day should be honored. He said, the Emancipation Proclamation, the Day of Emancipation, whatever. But he did acknowledge at least one day should be honored. Most MAGA most MAGA believe July 4th, 1776 is the independence for this country, and that should be the only day that's honored. So it would not surprise me if come July, Trump announced that, we're not going to honor the day. All federal employees got to return to work. It wouldn't surprise. I could be wrong, but like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if he'd done it because he's spoken out heavily. What did he say? There's too many holidays already, and he said this is what he said last year on Juneteenth. There's already too many holidays, and even the working people don't want it. So I've never heard of a working man that say, "Shit, I don't want another day off." And the people that don't get it off, then it's irrelevant to them. If you're a federal employee and you get Juneteenth off, why the hell would you not want a paid holiday? I don't give a fuck what you're celebrating. If you're going to let me stay home and you're going to pay me, make it a holiday. And the people who are not getting paid, then it's irrelevant to them. So I don't get what he was talking about. In the comments, though, T-Mac says, everything that seems to celebrate the progress of this country, they have a problem with it. I don't know about that. It depends on who's responsible for the progress. I think is more what they're targeting. I mean, it depends on who the person is, or what group of people made the progress. That's where it's coming from. Tap the screen, get us on up to 95,000. The show obviously has a racial overtone to it today. Some of my shows get racial, but we normally talk about the politics at hand. The reason why we're talking racial today is because I got hammered by a large contingent of some of my African-American viewers who tell me I'm simping for the white man, I'm acting like a coon, I'm defending MAGA, et cetera, et cetera. I disagree, but I do want to hear from you folks. I'm going to be a glutton for punishment. That's kind of how the show has been run. I want to hear from you folks on what I can do to correct the show, make it more entertaining. And if we can make it educational, even though I don't know everything and you don't know everything, we can all meet in the forum and make that happen. So that's what we're trying to do here. But today, your boy does have a bullseye on his back. I'm willing to take the lumps on the chin, on the back, when you let me know what I'm getting wrong. Let me go to the box. I want independence from black people. Oh my God. That ain't racist at all. Who said that? Oh my God. I watch videos says I want independence from black people. I believe you can achieve that in Arkansas currently. I think they have an all white town they're working on. You can get it there. Let me go back to the box, tap the screen, get the likes on up. I do want it to go to Takesha Bowie. She was holding. We'll make that happen. Good evening, Takesha. Welcome to the program. You can help me out, Takesha. What am I getting wrong? What am I doing wrong?
Tim, I can't help you out at all because you done pissed me off.
What have I done?
You have pissed me off this entire day. First of all, Megariac, I don't care if he sent 8 galaxies. Don't bring Megariac back up here no more today. He done had his time. When you telling us that July the 4th was the day that slaves were free, and we telling you it was June when all of us were free, and you didn't know that. Lets me know the kind of person you are, Magriax. I don't care what you can say, Tim. Magriax is racist. When you are a racist, you don't know you racist. Magriax is a
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. First of all, he's Egyptian, so I don't know how old he moved over here. Hold on. If he moved over here after he received his education in Egypt, it could be possible he don't know when slaves were freed in this country.
Well, guess what? He don't need to speak on what he do not know.
Okay, that may be. That makes more sense.
And let me say this, Tim. The reason they like you, they don't see you as a black man.
What?
They see you as the ally. Because when we bring up racism and talk about racism, you kind of honestly, you kind of downgrade it, Tim.
I've had to.
I'm with Mike on that. You kind of make it where it's not. You make it seem like it's not as serious or not as deep as it really is. You think you really bad for us, but if you go back and listen to some of your stuff, you really don't, Tim. That's why they see you as the person that they comfortable with. Because how they not gonna be?
Well, there are.
You don't push back in a positive way when it comes to.
I didn't push back on MAGA Reacts with Juneteenth. I didn't just do that.
You did, Tim, but at the end, get what you said.
What?
Well, you're coming around. When is he coming around, Tim? When?
Because he admitted at least there should be a holiday. He was coming around. Okay.
See that? There you go. I understand you want your MAGA audience.
No, well, yes, I do want my MAGA.
Let me say what I got to say because I won't be alone. I understand you want to keep your MAGA audience. Don't get me wrong. MAGA audience bring numbers and they help you try to understand the other side.
Thank you.
But at some point, you got to stand for your people regardless. I understand. I don't get, let me tell you 2 things I don't get about black people. I don't get how we took a word that white people use to demean us, take the ER off, add an A, and say it's a term of endearment.
Thank you.
I think that is the most ridiculous thing that a black person can say. I also think it's ridiculous because I tell my sons this. You don't call a woman what you don't want another man to call your mama. Okay. So that B word really, it bothers me.
Now that I want to.
React to sit up and say, well, she's a white B or whatever, it don't matter. My thing is this. You don't call a woman what you wouldn't want nobody to call.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want my mama call. Wait, hold on. Let me jump in on this. I agree with you about you don't call her that. But if she also should not be out calling people names either. It's a difference if you.
Let me finish.
Okay, there we go.
Stop jumping up when I ain't through.
Okay, you started.
I don't think because we are women, we think we should be able to talk to a man any kind of way without repercussions because we are women. Any man can get out of control or push to the limit where he may call you out of your name. But what you need to do, Tim, because you're supposed to be stronger than a woman, y'all.
Why? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Why am I supposed to be stronger than a woman verbally? No, I'm not.
Tim, can you please stop jumping your ugly bald head self?
You saying crazy shit, Takesha. Okay, go ahead and wrap it up. Go ahead and make it happen.
Our emotions, y'all said we're emotional people.
I didn't
can get to argue with somebody right now on your show, and you ain't never heard me call them a B. You can do that too, Tim. I don't care how mad you get at a woman. A B should not have to come out of your mouth. You can call her anything but a B. I don't like when women call other women B's. I think it's a very disrespectful, degrading word to call anybody because it's a female dog. No person should be called a female dog. If you got that word in you, practice how not to have it. Because if another man called your daughter that, you would be ready to fight.
Not if she was
Another
no.
man called your mama that, you would be ready to fight.
No, disagree. If my mama out in the street talking shit to some dude and he says that, I mean, look, I'm not one who defends my family no matter what. If you are doing wrong and somebody fires back, I gotta take into consideration you were doing wrong. I mean, it's if I just said some awful shit like that and she was doing nothing, then yes, it's fighting words. But if this girl, she launched about 10 insults. Okay, you're fair game.
If you okay with somebody calling your mama something, you don't call them because they in an argument, then you fucked up in it.
Okay, I'll take fucked up in the head for 200.
Yeah, that's the fuck you effed up in it.
I'll take that. I'll accept that.
Ain't no way I'd be okay with that because words are just words. But that
I didn't put my hands on her.
That word is not just a word.
Oh, come
it's
on.
degrading. You can call me fat. Are you fat, Tim?
Yeah.
Okay then. Are you ugly, Tim? Hell yeah. So she didn't say that wasn't true about you, Tim.
Fuck you. You all right over there?
Nah, Tim, that was my laugh.
That is a hell of a laugh, by the way.
Seriously, I didn't even know you were fat, so I can't say you're fat. But I understand you got upset, but just try your best not to call a woman that name.
Okay, well, but I'm just going to say, like I said, if you are a woman enough to go out there and verbally abuse somebody, you're not a victim when you get hit back. You're just not. When that person verbally abuses you, yeah. So if I'm using it on your example of my mom or my daughter. If they're out there verbally abusing somebody, and that person just uses words back on them, I don't want to hear you crying about that. I don't want to get insulted. Don't insult. That's my. Well, he insulted me worse than I insulted him. I say the same shit to my MAGA viewers when they get mad if somebody says something about Trump. If you're okay with him saying all kinds of shit about everybody else, I don't want to hear what a insult was worse than his. That ain't how it works. You don't want to get insulted. Don't insult.
It's the word, Tim. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think that is the most degrading thing any man can call a woman.
Maybe, but that is your opinion. Maybe some other dude thinks saying he has a small pecker or saying he's fat or saying he's that may be his worst insult. You don't know what somebody else is dealing with.
Is the pecker small?
Hell no.
Well,
I could block the whole screen of this phone if I took my shit out.
What you get offended for?
Is she a bitch? If it ain't true, what she get offended for?
Tim, they're not the same.
In your opinion. You don't get to insult to tell somebody, well, my insult of you wasn't that bad. You don't know how they took it. Just don't do it. Just don't do it.
Tim, there's a lot of stuff you don't understand. That's why MAGA think you white.
Well, then look at it this way. Let's take your example. A lot of shit I don't understand. Then why insult people when you don't know what they understand and what they don't? They just don't. You don't know what that person is going through. Don't lob insults and expect them to just take them and roll off their back. They may not understand, as you just said.
Tim, you notice that when I do crack somebody in your life, it's because they came at me. The only person I do come at is Lil Pivot, Lil ROTC. Cause ROTC be pivoting like hell. So he be pissing me off. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about MAGA Reacts real bad. But other than that, that's why I say if you don't want people to insult you, don't insult them.
Yeah.
And yes, it can go too far where they can call you out your name. It's a man.
I don't believe.
Try not to use that word when referring to a woman.
As a woman,
You got the right to defend yourself. But just try your best not to use that word.
okay. I'll try my best, but if I get insulted and a mistake happens, I was trying until you insulted me and you kind of made me slip up.
And also, let me say this. I didn't know that when you say blacks, that it was racist.
Wow, thank you. That's somebody finally.
Until Stick pulled it up. Because I promise you, I say it all the time. When me and my cousins, no, I'm serious.
I believe you.
If a black person do something to piss me off, I'd be like, you know what? It's always the blacks. I never thought it was racist. I honestly never did.
I'm falling in love with you now. There we go. Finally.
Please don't fall in love with me. You don't have a chance.
Don't matter. I got look. I can paint your face on my hand. All right, keep going.
Well, world. I just asked my cousin that question. I said, do you know that when we be saying the blacks, that they said that's racist? She said, how? She said, we be saying the whites. I said, yeah, we do. So I guess me and my cousins just been saying too much of stuff around here. But it's all in the person that's being offended.
That's what I said about this. That's what I said about women attacking me.
One person may not offend another.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
I don't get offended if a white person call me the N-word because that's not what I am.
Whoa.
I've had it said to me and it didn't bother me.
Whoa.
Because I'm not one. So that word doesn't bother me. What I've learned, the more you let people know what trigger you, the more power they hold over you with what triggers you. So if you keep letting white people know that word bothers you when they say it, they're gonna keep saying it because they know that's a trigger.
But then, and I agree with you, but I gotta point out what Igar in the comments said. How could you say you were not offended by the N-word, but you're making such a fuss about bitch?
Because we can, at some point, a female can, honestly, if I'm being honest, we can't act like one.
And somebody in the comments certainly said that JC said, don't act like a man so you won't be treated like one. But, you know, the thing about it is, that's what I've been telling you the whole time is when you're insulting somebody, you never know the potency of your insult. So I didn't call you a bitch. I only said, you don't know how potent that is to that person. It could be triggering something in them. So that's what I say. If you don't want to get insulted, don't insult because you can't say that my insult is mild. It's mild to you, but you don't know how you feel. Just like you said, the N-word ain't even that bad to you, but you view bitch a lot worse.
I said it doesn't offend me because I know why they say it.
Okay.
They say it to trigger me, and I'm not going to let you trigger me with a word that you made up. That does not apply to me. I'm not that. I'm a African-American.
I like that. All right, I'll go ahead and begin painting your face on my hand. I got to move it on. Thank you very much. I want to get a grip on the situation. Appreciate it.
Goodbye.
All right. In the comments, none other than Gen X fuck around and find out saying that's because Stick read that shit on the bathroom wall somewhere. Another reason for him to be a victim. The blacks is what he's talking about. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. So finally somebody who, God, I thought I was on an island there for a minute. I don't recall as a Gen Xer going to school in the 70s and 80s, the word blacks being a derogatory term. The N-word has been that way my whole life. Blacks has become a derogatory racial stereotype or whatever you want to call it sometime in my lifespan. I didn't know. I've never been anywhere where nobody complained about it. Now, some of the viewers I had on the show when I was in Sticks Lab, they live down south. So, look, I'm from Chicago. I've been living in an all-black city that leans left. So, if you live in an all-black city, or better yet, mostly black city, not all, but mostly black, and in Chicago's case, most of the government is even ran by black people. Take it as you will. If you think it's poorly, you think it's whatever, but the government's ran by. When you're in an environment like that, the same systemic racism that folks talk about that's alive and well, it's not as strong in a city like Chicago. Yeah, the point I'm making is this. As long as you don't try to reach the very top or you don't get in trouble with the law, because there's a lot of racism within police forces, as long as you don't, for the most part, you can live in a city like Chicago and not encounter a whole bunch of racism. You're just a regular middle-class working guy, got a good union job like I had, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not out getting in trouble with the law. I'm not encountering it like that. Now, if I live, in a red area where there's a lot of Caucasians, maybe that's something different. But so some of these folks are pointing out stuff that's racism, and I'm like, I didn't see that. Because the environment I'm in is majority African-American. They got power in Chicago, in Philadelphia, in places like that. They got African-American community has power. So they're not just getting railroaded and ran over by systemic white issues like some would say. You actually have recourse. If you're in Chicago and something happens to you, you actually have a government that may follow through. You may get damages. The person may end up in jail. Which is why I'm pushing back on the notion that blacks can't be racist because the system ain't gonna help them out. Depends on where you're located at. Looking in the comments though, again, majority is not black people in Chicago. They're in control of the government though. You're talking about you can't. Some folks saying you can't be racist as a black because you don't have systemic power. In Chicago, they do. At the city level, county level, they have a lot of power. They actually do. So the system is not totally against them in bigger cities in the country. Like, unless you find yourself in the criminal justice system, of course. Looking in the comments, Stick hates asphalt because he thinks it's racist. Jesus Christ. I actually did a poll question. Is Trump making America great? 117 votes. 28% says yes. 27%, it just went down. 27% says yes, Trump is making America great. That's kind of where his poll numbers are, to be honest with you. They're around 30%. They're around 30% right now. Yeah, I think most regular, everyday people are not racist and have no interest whatsoever as what they care about most is getting home from work and seeing their spouse and kids. Maybe, but the problem is they're willing to turn a blind eye to it. A perfect example, during the era of slavery, only about 1% of whites owned slaves. But you're voting in people that are continuing to make slavery legal. You're voting in people that are continuing to make Jim Crow legal. And you know they're doing this. So, yeah, you may say you're not racist and you're just trying to get home to your kids and work a day, but you're voting for it to continue. I mean, when a guy gets up there and says segregation today, segregation tomorrow, segregation forever, you know he's fucking racist as hell. So if you vote for him, you're either racist or racism is not a deal breaker. Because it's undeniable this dude don't like African Americans. He don't like minorities. So that's more where that is a larger group of the population. Is the ones that'll turn a blind eye to it as opposed to the ones that may be actually doing it. It's the ones that know it's existed and it ain't my fight. One of my friends said, it ain't my fight. So I told him, you're not an ally. I said, I'm not going to, because we talk all the time, I'm not going to say you're racist, but you're not an ally. I know if I'm in a predicament where we're fighting to get racism out of society, I view you as somebody who is not an ally. As you said, it's not my fight. Like if we out at the bar and 2 or 3 dudes are kicking your ass and I'm sitting at the bar still drinking, man, it's not my fight. I'm not an ally. I'm just looking at you getting your ass kicked. I'm not an ally. So that's what I told. Anyway, looking in the comments here, tap the screen, get us on up to 125,000. Everything ain't your fight. That's true, says Big App. Yes, it is your fight though, Big App. In this case, it is in regards to racism. Even if you're white and you don't even live around black people, racism is your fight. I'm going to quote Martin Luther King: "Injustice against one is an injustice against all." Eventually, it's going to cause problems for you. You're not going to keep mistreating a group of people that's on the same landmass as you without it eventually boiling over and affecting you somehow, some way. Boycotts, riots. I mean, all of this shit can happen. Crimes. I mean, eventually, if you keep ignoring them, it's going to spill over and affect you in your neighborhood one way or another. You can't just keep ignoring that. They're going to push back. Looking in the comments, and where we at 120, and we'll tap the screen. I got to bring them up. James, Stick the Ruler. Now, Stick is the live I was in last night. This is the man who hosted the program where all of your guests were anti-me. What am I doing wrong, Stick?
Well, the first thing you was doing was that MAGA shit, which was refusing to just accept the information, basically.
What information?
And it was just like, what I showed you, not only did I tell you anecdotally, but I also showed you with, facts and sources, and it was just like, okay, it's the international what? Man, go look the shit up. God damn it.
Furback, I don't see you. Pimp named Furback, I don't see you. I saw your comment. I don't see you in the holding tank. Go ahead. Say it. Keep going, Stick.
Yeah, so it was the whole point initially, I'm showing you the evidence and you just refuse and just accept it. So yeah.
No, I didn't refuse to accept it, Stick. I questioned. Okay, I started questioning you because you're saying an African American using the term blacks is insulting. So I question you, is it okay because blacks is in your opinion, and according to the reference, you're correct. It's a controversial word. It's insulting African Americans. So is the N-word. So what I asked you is, you find it offensive for an African American to use the word blacks because it is considered offensive to blacks. The N-word is also considered offensive to blacks, but you're okay with them using that word. What I was trying to say is I didn't get the logic of it. And I still don't.
I didn't say, hold on. I never said it was okay. What another guest said, let me finish this before I even answer that. What another guest said was, we have taken the word, which I agreed with, and it's used among black folks, not blacks, as a tour of endearment, right? Or another way of just saying brother, right? Especially without the hard ER.
Okay.
We got songs on it and everything. Tupac, I'd rather be N-I-G-G-A.
Does it matter if it's an A or
totally different?
Does that matter if it's an A or?
Yes, it does.
So can whites use it with an A?
When you got a Karen out there hollering the hard ER, you know what it is.
What if she used an A?
When you got a brother passing by saying a song with the A on the end, he's not saying the hard. You know what's going on. Like, and that's the part right there.
Wait a minute.
Like,
What if the Karen, hold on, hang on. What if the Karen used it with an A? Is it okay now?
I never said it was okay.
I'm asking.
Period. I said we took that word. You're not allowed to use it. Just like Cornell X and Miss Dr. Matthews, as they were approaching the man who said it to somebody but wouldn't say it in front of a black man.
I don't get the point.
I'm gonna take that shit out your mouth, or you gonna taste the ancestors.
I don't. You're telling me there's a difference between the hard ER and the A, but when I ask you, but you're also saying if you're white, can you use either one of them, the hard ER or the A?
Okay, so how about this one? You say something, there's consequences, right?
Are we talking about the ER or the A? Which one are we talking about?
Listen, Tim, regardless of which one it is, if you're white T and you say it, there's consequences behind you saying it. Just like the man told him on national TV, hey, look, if you want to say it, I'll say it with you. So do the consequences, wait, you told me there's a difference between the ER and the A. So you said there's consequences if you say it. Are the consequences different for the A versus the ER? The consequences are the same when it comes to a white T person. I'm going to say it slow again.
Okay.
The consequences are different for a white T person. Now, you may have two brothers going back and forth. When you pick up the N-word between them, you know the difference between calling you a brother. You know the difference.
Is it insulting to you?
Anybody can pick it up. Part of the boys in the hood, leaning on the car, the dude bumps him. He like, you got a problem, N-word? He was like, I don't know. What I'm looking at, N-word, you know that they're insulting each other because they're doing it intentionally, loudly.
Does that, okay.
Everybody is tension.
Let me ask it to you this way. Okay. Let me ask it to you this way. If a white person uses the A or the ER at me and you're watching, does it offend you even though the insult is aimed at me?
I'm gonna say it again. They are not allowed to use it.
At all. Okay.
That's that MAGA shit again, man.
Look, some of this.
It's not the conversation.
It's the logic I don't get, Stick. It's the logic I don't get because you just admitted a brother can use it positively to another brother or negative. If a brother is using it negatively to another brother, does that offend you?
Oh, of course it offends me. It can be an offensive word regardless who uses it.
Is there any consequences? Is there any consequences from him doing it?
It can, as a brother to brother, it can be a consequence. What I'm trying to tell you is, regardless of who uses it, it can be consequences behind it. But what I'm telling you is, it's definitely a consequence if it's a white T person. I'm telling you, them. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna lie about it. It's definitely a consequence. Your ass gonna taste the ancestors. But half the time they don't say it because they know they gonna taste the ancestors. They gonna sit their ass down. They gonna do the tight lip shit like the man did on the video. They not gonna say. They gonna say it. That's how it was from the time, I would say, like you did have it here and there back in the day from I would say the late 70s to probably about the early 2000s, before Barack Obama got in office. You had a lot of tight-lipped white tea men that did not come out and be absolutely just messed up and racist. Now, because we got this Trump shit going on, and we got Pete Hegseth purging the military of African American people of color. Yeah, it's just like, oh, we're emboldened. So now they're saying it, and the dude that's in the goddamn video, he was in the courthouse saying the shit.
Yeah, I saw that video.
So again, they're emboldened now. And okay, so you want to be emboldened, but remember, the consequences are still there.
Do you support? Wait, hold on. Do you support words leading to violence? Because if we can get violent due to word, and hold on, real quick, I want to answer this question. DJ Trust in the comments says, Tim, stop acting like you don't know. Being candid, I'm not ignorant. Hold on, stick. Hold on. Being candid, I'm not ignorant to anything he said. I do know. I grew up in the fucking hood. But the reason I'm coming at it this way is because a lot of my viewers don't understand this. Because on its face, it is illogical. It's like learning the English language. The word ghost, GH, why is the H silent? The logic is not there. So for folks who don't understand the logic is why I'm asking these questions, because it's something we were brought up on. But fact is, it is illogical that a word is okay for somebody to use based on skin color. So I'm wanting him to explain it in detail for folks who this makes no sense to them. Keep going, Stick. And by the way, James, I was this hard with MAGA Reacts. Go ahead. Oh shit. Him and Juneteenth, I went in on him.
Everybody knows you have your beloved MAGA up, or you would like to have your beloved MAGA up before anybody. Off the ripple, it's like going in a courtroom knowing that you're favorable to one side
Oh
or
my
the other.
God.
Who's gonna win the verdict? It's gonna be the opposite side, whatever side that is, whether the defendant or whether the damn prosecutor.
Favorable to MAGA.
You're already favorable. You say it outright. You might as well call that your damn Star Spangled Banner towards MAGA. My beloved MAGA.
My beloved. I enjoy talking to my beloved MAGA. Yes. We are MAGA friendly. Yes.
But then you got the fucking handsome liberal up top. Like, that shit's fucking hilarious to me. That's the Clarence Thomas shit.
Oh.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You playing for a team, right? That's supposed to be the Brooklyn Dodgers. But somehow, some way, your ass ended up all the way in LA. Now you the LA Dodgers.
Okay, before, because I'm doing 10 minutes with each guest. I call one of your guests a bitch. What say you?
I'm gonna say it again. I've never seen that from you.
Have you seen it from her? Have you seen her do people like that?
Okay, so first of all, I believe that was the first time she's ever been in any one of my lives.
Okay.
Right? She's a friend of a friend, and she's my friend now. She's a friend of a friend at that moment, if that makes sense. And then at the same time, I don't know nothing about her beef and your beef.
But you heard her insult me though. That was my first time talking to her too.
Now the thing about that, if she would have said something like, you was a F word on like with the LGBTQ community, or she would have called you an SS. You know what that is, right? A little sis.
Oh yeah.
Sis.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? If she would have said something like that, because a lot of times females, regardless of if you black, white, whatever, they always try your manhood, right? They always try to say that you soft or you
You kind of taking Takesha's route. You're taking Takesha's route.
If what I'm trying to tell you is that's the insult that's equivalent to a man calling them a B-I-C-T-H. She didn't do that. She attacked your looks. She attacked, I don't know, whatever. She called you ugly, whatever. Like, to me, that versus being called a B-I-C-T-H as a female, that's two different insults.
Yeah, and you're doing exactly. Yeah, let me respond to that. You're doing exactly what not Gangsta Grandma. You're doing exactly what Takesha's doing. You try to say one insult is worse than the other one, and I'm going to say the same thing I told her. If you don't want to get insulted, don't insult. Just like if I slap you in the face, I have no. That don't mean you may. Hold on, hang on. You can tell me, but I already know where you're going with. If I slap you, I can't demand you only slap me back. You may punch me 5 times for doing that shit. Well, I only slapped you though. No, that's what's happening here. Is we're saying where her insult was lower, so you can't go to that level.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is, if I insult a person that's white tee, but I insult them, tell them they're ugly, whatever, it's okay for them to go quickly to racism. It's okay to go quickly to call me a baboon or a monkey or call me the N-word with the hard ER. It's okay for them to do that because I done opened the door. Why did you do
it? To me, you certainly brought that on yourself. It wouldn't have happened if you didn't launch the first attack.
So hold on. So now it's got to be the first attack too.
Well, yeah. I don't call no woman a bitch for no reason. I wouldn't call her a bitch for no reason.
What I'm saying is, you apparently you did.
No, I didn't.
At that point, it was just listen, Tim. You can escalate and de-escalate things, right? You know how to do it because you do it very well.
I didn't feel like doing it that night.
De-escalate very well. No, you de-escalate very well. You know how to just laugh something off. You know how to be like that, but in certain cases, it's really just towards MAGA. It's never towards the liberal. Like right now.
Bullshit. Gangsta Grandma gets laughed off every night. That's bullshit.
That's because that's a different breed of a woman.
Oh my God.
That woman right there, listen, that woman right there is
different breed of a woman.
Forced to be dealt with, right? Forced to be dealt with. I don't try Gangsta Grandma. I don't think you try Gangsta Grandma. It's only a certain amount of people that basically go straight to racism again. Like, I just don't get how y'all can say it's okay to go straight to racism from somebody just saying whatever. Like, it's too big. They're not talking about your mama. They're not talking about your kids. They're not talking about nothing that's like can really, really hurt you because you know how to laugh it off. Again, you can laugh off anything. But yesterday, for whatever reason, that was the one time that I personally seen you lose your cool. You lost your cool, point blank, period.
I was in the room. I tell you one reason. I tell you one reason why. Hold on. One reason why you saw that. I'm not normally in an environment where 7 to 8 motherfuckers are attacking me at once. That was a unique environment where I was at. The rest of you don't get Stig. You know, multiple people were hitting me. If it wasn't you, of course, but you know, most of your panel was coming at me.
Listen, coming at you versus the interaction you and her had is something totally different, Tim. Y'all had an interaction that was totally different from anybody else on the panel.
Shit happens. Shit happens.
And there it is. I would rather you be honest about it. That I had a slip of the tongue, just like you were saying before.
I can't say it's a slip because I'm guaranteed not to do it again. If somebody just pops off at me, I don't think I'm responsible for. She shouldn't do it. I got to move an ID to last word. Go ahead.
Okay, so I get all of that, Tim. I'm just gonna say this: the same way that me and you have went over this same thing over and over and over again. If you're gonna do that to us, and that's the beef. That's the beef. You're gonna do that to us, just like Takesha said, do it to MAGA Reacts, do it to Straight Talk, do it to these other stupid motherfuckers that don't know what the fuck they talking about. Do it to them. Give them the same thing. If you are truly a liberal, as you say that you are, not just in policy, but in everything that you do, push the same pushback that you give us on them, and then maybe you'll be looked at differently. maybe you won't have a Clarence Thomas head on your
Stick, I had to come back to your live again soon. Thank you for coming through.
Yes, sir.
And by the way, he's not the only one in the comments saying, yes, push back on the right as much as you do on the left. I do push back on the right. I just think the level y'all want me to push back on the right like gangsta grandma level. Because I was all over MAGA reacts about Juneteenth. I was pushing back. Same thing with fucking Straight Talk. I was calling them racist and everything in this live. You guys want me to, when you say push back equally, you're saying that. But in reality, you want me to push back on the right a lot harder. You don't realize what you're saying. You want me to push back on the right a lot harder. So it is what it is. And I really think that what the woman called me, the African-American woman that leaned left, or she was a liberal, what she said to me that led to me calling her a bitch. If I had been called that by a white MAGA woman, I don't think my viewers that are African-American would have had a problem with me calling her a bitch. I just think it was because she's a black woman. If she was white and to the right and I called her a bitch, I would have probably got applause for it. Tap the screen, get the likes up to 160 G's, if you will. Tell this guy, what does that say? I can't see that in the comments, though. Tell this guy purses are on sale at Walmart. Says Dwayne Curry. I would have said what I said since King Finn. Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure a lot of folks on the right, on the left, if I had a MAGA woman in there that was white, that was going in on me like that sister was, a lot of folks would not have had a problem with me going off on her the way I went off on this other girl. Tim tries to have a conversation with MAGA. I see no issue, says Steve. Thank you. Few of you hosts, I appreciate that. They want you to act like a ninja, says Creed. Oh, my God. I don't even want you to define what a ninja is. Oh, my goodness. Sometimes the shit I have to do on the program. I hope the black MAGA is the example for all blacks, just like the Latino MAGA was the example for Latinos. That absolutely could be realized. That if it ain't already. Nobody still okay. Looking in the comments, let me go back to the box. I don't want to fuck up and miss some of my subs, so I do want to get a pimp named Furback. Good evening, pimp. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the program.
What's up, Tim? How you doing, brother?
Just hanging around like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting. In this case, a bunch of Negroes, and I happen to be a Klan outfit. I'm getting hammered, man. What am I doing wrong on this program?
I don't think you're doing nothing wrong, man.
Thank you. There's some good out there. There's still some good out there. Because I'm being told that I'm not hard enough on the right. I'm too hard on the left. I'm turning into a white man as we speak. That's what I'm being told. I was tempted. I swear to God, I was tempted to do this program in whiteface. You real low. I can't hear you. Your audio's low.
A little better.
We'll try to make it work. Go ahead.
I'm saying that I rock with that story. I rock with everybody who's on that panel, man. I think I understand what you do, so I don't really criticize it because I've seen the work that you do when you're not the host.
Thank you.
So what I've always seen your show is that, you keep that pen and pad there. I think you use us as sparring. Before you go to the heavyweight match, you got a couple spars in.
He's a man that understands the game, a man of my very own heart, a man that understands the game. I like you.
Yeah, so, that's all I was trying to get up and say last night. I really didn't want to get up long, but I just wanted to say, maybe I could explain what you was trying to explain. Because the way I took it was, I'm 48, I'll be 49 this year. I was blessed to know my elders, went and taught me about history and all that. And I'm kind of like you, blacks wouldn't offend them. They would not be offended by blacks. Not saying it's not offensive.
Another one, thank you. You got me sounding like DJ Khaled. Another one. Finally somebody else that has not been brought up to hear the word blacks and think that it means the N-word. Somebody, I thought I was unique, man.
Nah, brother, and like I said, I'm not poo-pooing what they saying because they do change and evolve. But I think you was coming from a sense of our elders and what was important to them was the N-word.
Right.
Or even the word boy.
Right. Yes.
For the word black.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that's all I was saying, and I think that was all you were trying to say. So I think everybody was on the same page. We were just on different ends of the street.
Okay. And I needed that, man. I needed that because they made me sound like you should know this shit by now. And I'm like, I haven't heard it. I mean, I have not heard that. You heard Takesha came up, and Takesha, she lays in on me. She pulled no punches. Even she says she hasn't heard it. She like, well, shit, me and my relative been saying it too.
Yeah, like I said, it's not to say it's wrong. You know, like I said, I'm 48. Because no white boy can say the N-word around me and my crew back in the day.
Yeah, the N-word is etched in stone.
E or A. I mean, either one wasn't acceptable around us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, what these young people do today, hey, I mean, that's the thing to carry. I said that the old man like me still might not check your young ass, but hey, if the youngsters is allowing it, obviously that's what y'all doing now. Yeah. So, like I said, I don't think nobody was wrong. Like I said, I just wanted to get up here last night and try to explain it the way I did because that's the way I took it.
Well, I wish I had heard from you sooner because, man, I needed that. Let me ask you before, if you don't have to move on right away. I called somebody the B word, as you may have heard. Did I really cross the line that much?
Yeah, I mean, but me personally, yeah, I thought so. You know, but I've been told I'm a different kind of breed. You know, I've never put my hands on a woman. I've never shoved a woman, but I done put a pookie on a woman. You never put your hands, you pulled a pistol. Hey, you can smack me in the face. I'm man enough to walk away. I'm not getting no iron. I'm not getting no bricks. I'm not getting, hey, you pull something, I'm going to pull something. I'm just going to I'm not the brother that's going to argue with you. You know
right.
I'm on the fuck away. I ain't got no issue with it. I'll be a punk ass dude and all that. You going to try my life? Yeah, I'm going to go see my mama. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Look, I understand. I ain't never done no shit like that, but I understand the case you make. But listen, like I said, I wouldn't have called it that if she triggered me. She fired a few barbs at me. I fired the B word at her back. And what was crazy, you know, and that's what I told Stick and the rest of them in there. When she was insulting me, if you guys had just said she was wrong and weren't laughing and egging her on, I might have not fired that at her. But I got one person insult me and the whole room is viewing it funny. Then I call her a bitch and the whole room goes silent. Now, oh, you wrong now. Like, no, that didn't look right.
And like I said, man, I personally think you were wrong. I wouldn't hold no punches against you, but that's me.
Right.
You know, that's just something personally I wouldn't. And I'm not here to throw shots at you or her. And I know Black Historia is a black strong woman. And so is Trouble. So when you meet up with them, have your nose ready because they don't pull punches.
Well, I invited Trouble in here. The other girl, the one I called the B, she was already saying she knew me and she was like, fuck you and all this stuff. And then, like I said, it ended up leading to me calling her the B. But she already knew what I do. And because of the MAGA hat, not the MAGA, she was going down the path of me being a sellout and all that stuff. And like I said, she started throwing insults. And, well, I kind of threw just one back at her. It was just a good one, I guess I would say. And it is what it is. But it wasn't like I just threw that out there for no reason.
Whether you throw 20 or one, if one hits, it hits the right spot, man, it still has the same.
Hey, you own a 50 cal. I just happen to have a torpedo. Okay, we out in the water together. You shouldn't have went to the 50 cal. I'm sorry it's a torpedo and you might need a few life jackets, but I wasn't expecting the 50 cal.
But like I said, man, I think you, and I'm sure that, you know, either one of them ladies are open to an honest conversation with you. Just the rapport I've seen.
Not her. She wasn't. She first logged out when I got in the live. Then she came back with all that bullshit.
Hey, Tim, that's my experience. Like I said, you know, you take it for where you want. Y'all both adults. You know, it's TikTok. It is whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just saying, personally, I like your show. I definitely rock with this story and then the rest of them dudes over there. But I just think, hey, Tim does this thing his way. And I'm not the only one. But I think I understand what you do.
Thank you.
I don't really have a problem with it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I would never say you MAGA or any of that shit because I know I see what you do when you're not the host. Like I said, I literally.
We'll keep that on the hush hush. We'll keep that on the hush
Well,
hush.
I'm trying to. I'm trying not to blow the lid off, but I'm trying to let people that may not be tapped in to know that that's really just what it is. You know what I mean? And MAGA, and I hear y'all, and I get into it with my mutuals and shit because I call it op top. Man, that shit's on the line. That shit's done. They have nothing to offer. You get MAGA reacts and you get Gen X. What the fuck do they actually say? I mean, it's entertaining, but they don't say shit.
Well, they have their side of the issue.
It's wrong, Tim. I don't give a fuck what your side is. It's wrong. If 2 + 2 is 4, and don't because you want it to be 5, don't make it 5. You know what I mean? And I get it. They want the guy to do good. And every time I come up here, I'm gonna make sure I keep telling y'all this shit is not getting better. Fuck this hope you change your shit in the sky. Got enough. There's enough. Enough evidence.
But wait a minute. Let me put on my MAGA hat. What if? Because he's saying we got a ceasefire. If all of a sudden we get a ceasefire with Iran and we're allowed to make sure they don't get a nuclear bomb, Strait of Hormuz is open, and all of a sudden they flood the planet, as you know, all the ships, they flood our country with oil, and the price of gas drops down to $2.50 a gallon. Would you retract some of that and say it's getting a little better?
Man, because people miss the bigger picture, man. Like I said, Massa fed the slaves too, right?
Ooh.
So I mean, like that. When I hear that shit, it's like, he bent us over backwards, but hey, he lets us eat at the table.
Ooh,
fuck that.
That was.
Fuck that.
That was a good one. That was a fucking. I wasn't expecting you to do nothing like you. You just called me a bitch with that. I wasn't expecting you to go that hard. That was good. That was good. Well,
so that's what I hear, man. So yeah, that's why I say it's over, man. This dude is giving us no reason to think that things will get better because he has no history of fixing anything. You know what I mean? Like when Joe Biden said, they're gonna put y'all back in change, this and that. I don't know what other people
Marty,
heard, but
thank you.
I trusted another old white man from racist times to tell me about another old white man from racist times. I think they know each other.
You putting when you're talking about the potential for racism, you're putting Biden and Trump in the same camp?
Yeah, why wouldn't Biden know? He grew up in the same era. That'd be like my grandfather said, "Hey man, you better watch that white boy right there."
You don't think Biden realized the error of his ways though?
Don't mean he can't see it when don't mean he can't recognize it when he see it, Tim. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but Biden was doing a lot in favor of the African American. I mean, he gave you Kamala, he gave you Obama, he gave you Natasha Brown Jackson on the Supreme Court. Like, I mean, I'm not saying a man his age don't have racist tendencies from the era he grew up in, but as president, I don't. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you, but I think where we're disconnecting is that he can point across the aisle or in that same aisle and be like, that dude is that dude. He ain't gonna work out and that's all I'm saying. He can point it out. He can point it out probably better than most of us.
Bro,
I've been in the gym at school and those guys, not me. You know what I mean? So if he says it, probably got a little credence to it.
Well, he did say he didn't want his kids growing up in a racial jungle, so he does have some past quotes.
Yeah. And I mean, in that context, it made sense to me. Like I said, you send the kids out there without the right infrastructure, and that's what you're going to have. But of course, people latch on with salacious and this and that, and I get it. Like you saying the bitch word. It was salacious. It got airtime.
Look at you, sound like salacious. You been watching Stephen A. Smith or something? Salacious?
Nah, you been watching.
You really are a pimp. Salacious.
But man, I just want to get out here and start my piece. And I want my community out here to get along, man. And hey, we should disagree and we should have discussion. And I told you straight out, I don't think it was right. That's just how I personally move in and off the act. That's just how I am. I don't take shit too much seriously nowhere. Yeah, man, you got a great show. I'm gonna keep supporting you. I'm gonna just keep supporting Black Historian Trouble, Keith Finn, and all y'all, man. You know what I mean? I ain't picking no sides here, but I will call balls and strikes when I see it. Roger
that. Thank you for coming through. As always, pimp. Thank you. All right, moving on. Tap the screen. I know it's your shtick. How you run the program, says user. Somebody in the comments did say they saw the exchange on Stick's program and they felt bad for me. So it was user something. So certainly thank you in the comments. A few of you folks did. I kind of feel touched. A few folks actually saw a little daylight in my actions. I wasn't expecting that. So thank you. In the comments, somebody, Janie or whatever his name is, somebody said a comment earlier. Jay Haynes says, Tim has to run a show. Fuck them bitches. Oh my God. Don't put them on a pedestal. What are you saying there, T2? Imagine if Biden was president right now, you all be bored and sleepwalking. You know something? If you're living in a horror movie and you're wondering where the killer is at, maybe you would prefer to just be bored at home in your bed. I mean, sometimes bored ain't bad. You know, wasn't that what Nikki Haley said? You can't replace chaos with more chaos. When she was trying to suggest that, we shouldn't reelect Trump when Nikki Haley was running. She said, you can't replace chaos. And Biden was not even remotely close to being as chaotic as Trump is. Biden's chaos was coming from people thinking his policies were bad. Trump's chaos is coming from his policies and his personal actions, mouth, tweets, posts, statements, holiday messages, just a bunch of unnecessary gibberishes that, look, most of his social media account has nothing to do with making America great. Look, it doesn't matter if you like Trump or you hate Trump. I think all of us can agree that if he was on social media less, the amount of people that don't like him would be reduced. Because a lot of it is coming from that. If you take away his social media account, because people are pissed off with ICE and they're pissed off with some of his policies, but I believe a lot of the hate towards Trump is just him getting online and trolling and doing things. I'm glad Mueller is dead, for instance. Without social media account, that don't come out. You don't do stuff like that if you don't have a social media account. So his social media account to me is probably worse than anything he could have done. I do need to move over to Substack. Handsome Conservative, if it brings him up. There we go. Are we up? Conservative. Good evening on Substack. Make sure I got the volume turned. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Now you're conservative.
This is Clapper, not Substack.
Clapper, right? Substack is the other one. My fault. I got them all looking at me. Okay, Clapper. So what am I getting wrong?
Well, first of all, I want to agree with one of your last guests. Ladies should be treated with respect. There are certain words you shouldn't say to them. Now, having said that, I'm talking about ladies, not women.
Not bitches.
Two different creatures. Not two different creatures. A lady is someone who acts like a lady. Just because you're a female, that don't make you a lady.
Right.
Okay? A lady is something that you earn. But you shouldn't be calling, ladies words. I don't care
but in following through with what you just said, being a lady is something that has to be earned. She wasn't earning that title with me.
Well, then she was a bitch.
There we go. Thank you. All right. That one's good. All right. Now,
second of all, earlier today you had a couple of guests on debate, and I think I figured out what the problem was. If you go into a debate and you're like, I'm debating MAGA, and MAGA is racist, and MAGA and Republicans are white supremacists, you're not right. You've already lost the debate. You went into the debate assuming that your opinion was correct. You didn't go into debate an issue. You went into debate somebody that you already has pegged as a racist and a white supremacist. That's called retardation. I'll just let you have that one.
But that's what kind of happens, conservative. I mean, look, when I'm debating with folks on the right, they already think I'm a libtard. They think I'm a socialist.
I do not think you're a libtard. I do not think you're a socialist. I just happen to know that most everything you think is wrong.
Oh my
But I try to be respectful about it. You know,
everything.
Just,
Everything.
Well, not everything. You just bring gangster grandma back. So, you know.
Oh,
Look, no, honestly, if you can't have an open debate between me and you without going, you're a white supremacist and you're a racist because you belong to the other party, and you got no business debating. I don't care what you pull up on your magic talking box. You know, it doesn't matter to me. If you don't have common sense to start off with, then you can't debate. That's my opinion. You know, I'm not judging you and saying, in all seriousness, that, you know, every opinion you have must be wrong. It may just be I have a different view on it. I'd like a chance to explain my view. That's all. That's all I'm asking for. I would like to make a request if I can.
sure.
Could any chance we get back to what the handsome liberal used to be? Discussing with the world what's going on with the war, what's going on in the world instead of this racist nonsense that you can find on pretty much every other TikTok channel.
Yeah, that's a legitimate request, and I made that clear today. Is that's the plot of the program. This is just because of what happened yesterday. Yeah, tomorrow it'll be right back to world issues. I'm sure Trump will be talking about setting immigrants on fire or something like that. We'll be right back to the regular program tomorrow.
Hey, I woke up. I must have fell asleep with TikTok on. I put my phone on the charger. I woke up hearing your voice on my phone getting attacked by what had to be 6 of your allies. Okay, first of all, those aren't allies. Those are fucking gators and shit, man.
Damn.
They were chewing you up. They were tearing your ass up. I almost jumped in. I stayed for the whole live. I almost jumped in just to say, white man here, leave him alone. Take me on. You know, I almost jumped in. It was like a bunch of fucking piranha going after a leg lamb. It was fucking crazy.
I could have used you, man. I was taking on the whole panel. I could have used you.
Well, I took a page out of your book. I followed pretty much everybody on your channel that I disagree with. So when they have a live, I pop in and I stay undercover most of the time, and I listen to what they got to say because I got a new channel, Eyes Open, and I let people speak for themselves.
But how?
Man, I've got so many followers, so many views. It's crazy.
You had to send me. I'll come and check you out. But let me ask you.
You're already subscribed.
Oh, fair enough. So let me ask you. Well, you're not MAGA. You're conservative. Do I appear to side with MAGA?
I'm ready to switch.
Huh?
I'm getting ready to switch. I promise you. It's going to be the handsome Republican very shortly if I hear much more of this fucking bullshit.
What are you unhappy with Trump?
I'm not unhappy with Trump. I'm unhappy with the bullshit I'm hearing. I'm going to become a Republican, not the conservative. I'm ready to go full fucking MAGA at this point.
Oh, you're ready to go MAGA?
I'm ready to go full fucking MAGA because the stupidity that I'm hearing from your so-called friends and allies, I swear it's like hearing a bunch of ducks quacking in a pond.
You really think? Wait, hold on.
Retardation.
You really think that if you getting tired of hearing liberal bullshit, you think if you become MAGA, you're going to escape hearing bullshit? That's all he talks is bullshit.
I'm saying it's pushing me that way.
Well, it ain't.
It's pushing me that way.
It should be pushing you.
I used to ride the fence. My whole conservative thing was conservative family values. I'm starting to see why more Republicans are coming out. I'm starting to enjoy what you people call MAGAs. I'm starting to enjoy fucking Republican Mexicans and everybody else.
Why is that? Somebody in the comments wants me to ask you, why are you starting to enjoy these people?
Because I've been seeing the crazy on the other side. I've been following your people. I've been seeing just how depraved and insane and the membrane that you guys are. I mean, I swear, they live, breathe, and drink the haterade that they watch on MSNBC. It's all they have.
But you know, now let me do to you what my audience has been demanding, pushback. All of the shit you're saying, conservative, happens on the right. Okay, you're bringing up MSNBC or what? You don't think Fox News does the same shit? If you abandon being a conservative to become a Republican and join MAGA, you ain't escaping what's happening on the left. You just doing the same shit on the right. They do all the same stuff.
I'm not trying to escape anything. I'm being pushed that way.
How?
By the level of stupidity that I hear on the other side.
You don't hear any on the side you're talking about you're being pushed to?
When I became a conservative, I did one thing that I don't regret. I got rid of cable. I turned off Fox News. I turned off CNN. I turned off American broadcast altogether.
Okay.
Because American broadcast doesn't do anything but preach racism and shit like that. That doesn't do actual world news. So I got rid of that and I did this fun thing I called Thinking for Myself, coming up with my own opinion. I turned on news from Al Jazeera. I turned on news from across the pond, across the world, and I found out what was going on in the world and what people really thought. And dude, they think we're crazy. We're attacking each other from the inside. And we're being bought and we're being sold as commodity. Right against left, black against white. You can't say this word. If you do, you're going to taste the ancestors. And if you come at me with that shit, you'll be dead too.
Taste the ancestors.
Don't give me that shit. Don't give me that shit. This ain't 1981 and you ain't Webster. I ain't scared. All right? All right. I'm just saying.
But you don't go around throwing racial epithets, do you?
I do not. Until I started to listen to this shit, man, I've heard more racial shit in the past 3 days than I think I could stomach. Dude, I look at you. I get it. You're a black man. And I know you're surprised to hear that as much as I'm surprised to say it. But you got my respect because you try to hear both sides of the aisle. You keep an open mind. But they don't want you to have an open mind. They want you to have an echo chamber. They want you to repeat the list that they're reading from. And when you do that, then you're already struggling to get MAGA. You're struggling to get Republicans, and you're ignoring conservatives. But when you do what they want, you're not going to have a show anymore. You're just going to be another lefty talking leftist propaganda.
I gotta get you to clarify. I gotta get you to clarify something. In the comments, you said when I do what they want. Somebody in the comments said, "Who are they? Who are you referring to?"
I'm referring to Stick the dumbass ruler. I'm referring to all the people that were giving fucking MAGA Reacts a hard time. By the way, hold on a second. I want to say this. MAGA React. Your ass was 100% correct in every fucking thing you said today. I'm not going to repeat you word for word, but brother, I got you in the back. I don't give a fuck if you're Egyptian or not. You're a fucking American. Fuck that tribalism shit. I love you. We'll take you on our side.
Oh
we got milk and cookies.
Okay, you know, you just sparked up half of my audience, I'm sure, with that. Looking in the comments here, go ahead, say that again.
Good.
All right. What?
I got time.
Okay, well, if you got a little bit of time, I got a little bit of Miss Mo for you. Okay, Miss Mo better. Did you hear something you wanted to speak on Miss Mo better?
All that shit he's saying is fucking bullshit. You talk about you leaning to the left because of some shit you heard somebody say. To the right. You're leaning to the right because you've always been on the right. You was up here pretending that you was conservative. Ain't nobody got time for that bullshit you talking about. Now you are the one who's the artard. The fuck is he talking about?
Can I respond to her? Is this a debate?
She can hear you. Yes, they can hear you.
Okay. First of all, I'll tell you what I am. You don't tell me what I am. Second of all, if you want to be treated like a lady, act like one. And third of all, I agree with you most of the time, but you are fucked up in your head today. And I don't know what's going on with you. I was in that lie the entire time. I wasn't in there.
Wait. Hold on a second. Hanson, conservative. She wasn't part of that yesterday.
Yeah, but I'm talking about what I heard. I'm not accusing her of being a part of it. Okay. I'm talking about what I heard. If I say I'm a conservative, then that's a statement. Your opinion.
But listen, just like you were just saying, when people come in there and you say stuff to people and they gotta offend you back, you're doing the same exact thing. So words do matter, and I keep telling Tim this all the time. It's the power of life and death lies in the tongue. So what I was going to tell you when it comes to like the B word and all of that stuff, listen. I make energy for shit like that. You call me a bitch, be prepared. I can call you a lot worse. You understand what I'm saying? I make time for shit like that. Don't put yourself in a position where somebody is going to disrespect you. I'm a firm believer. We cannot control how people are going to respond to things that you say. We can't control none of that. You don't know how people are going to respond. Number one, sometimes you don't know what mood people are in either. I can't speak to that show yesterday. I wasn't on there. So whether you were right, she was right, however. Like I said, I make time for shit like that. And that's why that's exactly why I do it. Because first of all, I don't know none of you motherfuckers on this app. If you ain't feeding me, fucking me, or financing me, ain't shit you got to say about me. Pull any skin off my back.
Conservative?
Yeah, I've heard that since 1903. Anyhow, listen.
It sounds just like you're still there. Sounds like you're still there.
I don't got a problem with Miss Mo Better. I didn't even accuse her of being in the show.
Well, you got another individual that wanted to holler at you too, Mr. Harper. Since you don't have a problem with
I don't know Harper, but bring him up.
Harper, you're up.
I'm already up. So you trying to say that MAGA Reacts was right about the shit he was saying? Everything he was saying was absolutely inaccurate, and it can be factually proven. So I don't know why you try to say that he wasn't wrong. He was definitely wrong. In fact, he was basically disregarding people's history, talking about it's stupid. We shouldn't be celebrating it. No, y'all just don't want to be brought up to the fact that we fucked up as Americans in history, and it was actually trying to correct that mistake.
No, sir. No, sir. You're wrong.
Okay, explain.
Wait, hold on. You don't think, hold on, conservative. You don't think America fucked up in history? You think that's an inaccurate statement?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
That's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying, sir?
Let me explain. The we talking about the whole I used to be a slave thing? And
I used to be a Jim Crow man. I used to be discriminated. I used to be a banker victim. What are you talking about?
Is this the Juneteenth event? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, good. I got a base of reference. Okay, that's cool. Look, honestly, if you are free now, then the 4th of July should be good enough for you. You're an American citizen.
Wait, just like you said, nobody can tell you that you're conservative. How are you gonna tell who to celebrate what? See, this is where Mike goes in on them. Because if people deny that shit happened, that was fucked up, they bound to repeat it. And we see it happen with the voters right now. The voter right now. Listen, you can't speak to shit like that if you're not a black person. You gotta knock that off.
Not even that. It's the fact that they're actively doing this stuff and people are sitting there cheering it on. That's the issue right there.
Okay, let him.
2026, that's happening.
I'm not denying the past. I'm saying you weren't there. You're not part of the past. You're part of the future. And guess what? Your ass is free. Now get up, go to work, and celebrate the 4th of July like the American you are.
No.
That's not how you say. Hold on.
No. You get your ass up and go get a job.
Yeah.
You 53 years old. You should be working right now. You're probably sitting home waiting on a fucking check. So stop.
Oh, darling, if you only knew. If you
I don't. It don't matter. I may not know, but you're not gonna deny some shit that we listen. Don't be mad because your people have no substance. Y'all don't have a day to where you call your home besides 1776, and that shit was stolen.
My substance
Fuck
is
out of
telling me that you are living in the past, and you know where.
Hey, hold on. Let me interrupt. Hold on. Let me interrupt. Hold on. Conservative. Here's one thing that even I'm taking odds at about this living in the past shit. This guy is naming bases at the Confederates. You guys are defending statues. All of this shit happened at the same period of time what she's talking about. For some reason, it's okay to endorse all the Confederate stuff, the slave masters, but the actual slaves, I don't get that.
I tell you what, I'll make you a deal.
Please do.
We will tear down every statue, every Confederate flag. And I'm a man from the South, okay? We will tear down all that shit if you stop talking about the past.
Why would Why? Why would we? I mean, so do we stop talking about July 4th, 1776? That's in the past. I mean, it's like you're targeting. Hold on.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I really don't.
Like I said, it's an uncomfortable fact for them. That's something.
Free because allies who happen to be white helped free you, and a president that was white gave you freedom. That's what we're talking about.
You didn't.
He didn't want to.
That was a tactical.
You're welcome. Really? Conservative. Go ahead. I don't want. Look, I'm supposed to be the moderator, even though I want to go ahead on him too. But I'm gonna let you guys have it. This is a pushback where I would certainly be involved in it. But as a moderator, I'm not supposed to do that. So James, go ahead.
Like I said before, this is a sore subject for them because that romanticized history that they keep talking about is being shown not to be what they thought it was. That's why you hear people like Margaret talking about
we went to war.
You are sore about it because you keep saying like, you can't mention that. But y'all will mention D-Day, y'all will mention Pearl Harbor, y'all will mention any other thing that's out there, but you don't want us to mention when you guys were being the fucked up ones.
Dude, I've been listening to you guys whine for 54 fucking years. You listen to me. I don't need to explain myself to you.
We're sick of your shit. We're tired of your shit now. We're not allowing y'all to push those buttons that y'all were used to push it.
Cody.
And now that we're calling it out, you're uncomfortable with it. And now you get over it. Now you get over it.
Cody Lux, I'll respond to your comment after they're done. Go ahead.
You're gonna hear about it now, so you get over it.
I'm not getting over shit. I don't have to get over shit.
And neither are we. You keep celebrating the Holocaust like y'all do.
He said you celebrate the Holocaust. God damn.
Here we go with this one.
You got reinforcements apparently, conservative. MAGA Reacts has came up. You said you agree with everything he said.
I apologize, man.
Wait, hold on. He did he come up? He didn't come up. Okay, wait.
On behalf of all these dumbasses, I apologize, man. You're a good man.
You really need to go.
Programs that they shut down.
You need to go somewhere and seek a doctor. It sounds like you smoke one too many cigarettes. For 54 years old, you sound
Why don't you make your point and stop acting like a 2-year-old?
My point is, I can act however I want to act, first of all.
3 minutes.
You came up here to debate, woman, debate. You're acting like a 2-year-old.
We are debating. All you keep saying is we're wrong, and you don't counter.
You just don't like what you're hearing. You just don't like what you're hearing.
You don't tell me.
What color hood you got on today? What color hood you got on today? Because you've been up here fronting like you was this conservative. You've been MAGA the whole goddamn time.
I'm not MAGA, but dumbasses like you are.
Yeah, you are.
You're don't say you're not MAGA. You're not a conservative if you support Trump and his policies. Stop that.
No,
you're not conservative. You do not support family values and things like you say. All of the stuff that you've been saying is MAGA talking.
Policies. That doesn't make me a racist, and that doesn't make me something wrong. That makes me a man.
I said you were MAGA. Those are two different things. I didn't say that you were racist. You automatically went to that. You went to that point. No one said you're racist. We said that you are MAGA. Are you equating MAGA with racism?
I said you have a hearing deficiency because I've told you 3 times I'm conservative, but your dumbassery is pushing me.
No, you're saying you're conservative, but all that you support is showing that you're not.
Okay.
There's a difference between what you say and the things that you put out there.
I don't think you're ready to take on a full-grown man. I think you should go back to your echo chamber, practice your speech a little more.
You have not said anything that's actually countering it.
With zero substance, and then you got somebody up top
MAGA reaction, conservative. Okay, conservative MAGA is in there. You wanted to address him, conservative?
Yeah, MAGA, dude, listen, I try to stay out of your shit. I do. But, dude, the way they ride your ass is unfucking believable. I want you to know that I may not be MAGA, and I don't give 2 shits what the color of your skin is. I respect that you're an American citizen. I respect that you follow the 4th of July, and I respect that you don't let retarded shit like these
4th of July. Conservative, we're going to have to, in the future, conservative, we're going to have a detailed conversation about this 4th of July shit.
Does he have a tattoo on his ass? Which side is it on? Where's his birthmark?
All right, I got to.
She keeps talking, but no words are coming out.
MAGA reacts.
That's because you don't understand English.
MAGA reacts, go.
I got one question. Were your ancestors even in America when there was slavery? Because my ancestors weren't. Trump's ancestors weren't. We're not related to the slave owners yet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
At least you're one example. I mean, a lot of us in MAGA we're like 1st or 2nd generation Americans, And they're trying to make us feel guilty for shit that didn't even happen when our ancestors were here. Like, what the fuck?
You know what? Because you're not even you, Macri, you're not even from this fucking country. You ain't
Yeah, conservative, hang on.
Fucking American. So that's all that matters at this point.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna give him the last word, conservative, and then we'll do it.
He want to be a white. You want to be a white passing American. That's what you want to be. That's why you get up here with the propaganda. Talking about pandering.
Okay, I'm gonna have to wrap it up at this point. I gotta wrap it up. Okay. MAGA Reacts. Conservative wants to address you. Go ahead, conservative.
MAGA, do not let them get under your skin. They've been playing this game, not people of color, okay? Not people of color. But this brand of stupid has been around for a long time.
Who the fuck is he keep calling stupid?
This is called a debate.
Who are you calling stupid? I'm going to be honest.
Miss Mobetta, I'll get Miss Mobetta next.
They're going to try to make you feel guilty for something you had nothing to do with. Just like something I had nothing to do with. They've never been a slave. They've never been anything but a self-made victim. Okay? Don't buy into their shit. This is where they get ate the fuck up. Ain't nobody any day of the week. And the rest of you bitches can suck it.
You don't got one, you little pussy.
Miss Mobetta.
You ain't even got. You don't even have one. You sit in your. They need to come in there and check your fucking laptop. You probably one of the ones that is going for the
I feel like a real victim, and I never fucking mention it. I've had my churches actually burned. I had my churches burned. I fucking left Egypt because terrorists were after my ass.
Oh, you wonder why
I'm fucking out there crying about it.
I heard it.
You're the fucking victim.
Shut your ass up.
I'm here crying about being a victim. I'm talking about fucking being an American.
Listen, you basement fuckboy. You said fuckboy. Shut the fuck up. You too.
I'm losing my show. Okay, okay, folks, we gotta wrap this up. I'm losing my show. All right, Miss Mobetta, I gave her the last, so I'm gonna drop you, Miss Mo. I'm gonna go to you, James. Thank you.
Them two little fuckboys.
All right, so James, I'll let you wrap it up. Go, James, your turn.
Okay, for MAGA Reacts, the reason why people keep getting mad at you because you keep disregarding history and misquoting shit. That's why people get at you. That's why Tim has been coming at you because you say stuff that's not completely true. You take a little bit of information and try to run with that shit like you.
Yeah, thank you, Altrigo.
First off, with the Juneteenth shit, you couldn't even name the reason why Juneteenth is actually a thing. And then when we try to tell you,
into slavery, I just said it was pandering. And I said it was January 1st, not July 4th. I said it should be January 1st during the Emancipation Proclamation. Should be the end of slavery, not Juneteenth, some fucking random holiday.
Okay, this is why we're saying that you don't know history. Because when he did
what day was the Emancipation Proclamation?
We're trying to talk. Let me talk.
What day?
Shut up for 5 seconds and let me talk.
What's the date? Because I said the date.
I'm trying
right here on the line.
I'm trying to tell you.
January 1st.
I'm trying to tell you. If you actually would shut the fuck up for 2 seconds.
Answer the question.
Shut the fuck up for 2 seconds so people can talk. This is why everybody gets mad at you and shuts you down and kick you off live. Because you don't shut up and let people talk.
Who kicked me off a live?
Let him get his point across. MAGA, let him get his point across.
Shut the fuck up and let other people talk.
Never been on my
Hold up, MAGA. Let him finish his point. Go ahead, wrap it up, James.
Okay, first off, the reason why Juneteenth is a thing, because when the Emancipation came out, all these other states, they ignored it. They did not follow it. That's why we don't use the Emancipation when slaves were free. We use Juneteenth when the last of the slaves were free. That's the reason for Juneteenth.
Do you think July 4th was the actual day of our independence, or just the day we were?
I don't give a fuck. It wasn't tailored to slaves. It didn't matter what was that.
Is that the day we were free from England, or is that the day we just proclaimed our independence?
All right. All right, I gotta drop you two and move the program on. I giving all you guys plenty of time. All right, appreciate it. All right, conservative, I appreciate you coming through. You stirred up a hornet's nest. I'll give you a minute. Wrap it up.
All right, look, dude, I didn't mean to get the whole, you know.
You said some pretty wild shit, conservative. What you think was gonna happen?
I lost my temper. I've been listening to stupid for about 3 days. So I found my nuts. I put them back on, and I got tired of listening to asinine shit. Look, I respect. If you want a holiday, have a holiday. But my point is this: you are an American citizen. I'm an American citizen. You are not owned by anybody. I am not owned by anybody. The 4th of July is for you. It's for
No,
me.
you know it's not.
If you don't want to celebrate it, don't celebrate it. That's your right. But as an American, it's there for you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something.
People do not celebrate June.
You started the live off. Hold on. Conservative. You started the live off by saying the bullshit you're hearing is driving you towards MAGA. When you hear folks saying that you are an American and you don't need Juneteenth, the bullshit that you're promoting is going to make the African American community stop celebrating July 4th, because that holiday for over 100 plus years we were not considered Americans. So just let the people honor the damn. Hold on. Let the people honor the damn day they got free. Just let them honor the real day.
Guess what, Tim? I'm telling you, you're an American. Congratulations.
The holiday, no, that is not what that holiday is celebrating independence from the British. The African American community was never part of the British. They never were part of it. Most of them weren't. So that holiday is denoting something that the African American community. Same thing with the fucking anthem, to be honest with you. The anthem is the same way, but that stuff wasn't even mentioned for blacks. The blacks fight to get African Americans, for some of you fuckers. African Americans fight to get freedom, and all of a sudden you're gonna say, well, this is the stuff they should celebrate. That was never meant to celebrate them to begin with. If they hadn't fought and died, those holidays and those anthems wasn't even meant for them.
African Americans fought and died for their freedom along with their white.
So honor what they fought and died for. Honor what they fought and died for, not some holiday that already existed. Give them a fucking If we can pardon 100 criminals at the January 6th, pander to these motherfuckers. Even if you think it's pandering, that pardon shit is pandering. If you can pardon people who actually was trying to kill folks, give them a damn holiday.
Did you ask me if I thought they should be pardoned for that? Because I wasn't even there. Did you ask?
I'm just saying. I know you were. I'm just saying, acknowledging the holiday, conservative, is not. That's the least you could do when we look at what was actually going on at the time. The least we're not going to get reparations. We get that. Give them the damn holiday. It doesn't cost anything to do that.
Well, I'm gonna say 3 things, and then I'm gonna get off your channel because I know I brought a lot of love to your channel today. Number 1, I respect the fuck out of your channel.
Thank you.
I cannot agree with half of anything you say, but I will always have your back whether you ask for it or not. Unlike me in the scenario where you lead me to get my ass kicked in the bar. I haven't forgotten that. Number two, Gen X, you're not alone, and don't let them pull you.
Oh my God! Can I? Where do I send the hat to? You officially MAGA now. Where's the hat coming?
Number 3, support your local liberal, right or wrong. Man's got a good heart.
Thank you. God damn it, you didn't make that easy. Conservative, thanks for coming through. I appreciate it. All right, tap the screen and get the lights on. I'm sweating after that. Tap the screen, get the lights on up to 220, if you will. Gen X is choking on us. So where's this guard go? Okay, Cody Locks Productions. I wanted to acknowledge one of your super chats. He says, not a single U.S. black citizen has actually experienced slavery. and not a single white U.S. citizen was a slave owner. This whole discussion is ridiculous. Y'all got the rights in 1877. This isn't about being slaves or having rights, Cody Lux. This is about people honoring history, because there's not a single white person living today that was a Confederate. They're waving that shit around. I don't get how the same folks can suggest we get hush about slavery, but you want to be real vocal about the Confederacy. These events happen at the same damn time. You're going to honor your ancestors. You know, that might remind me of my grandmother when you're thinking about your great-grandmother. That's going to remind me of my people. If you really want people to get over what happened yesteryear, quit celebrating it. It's not a matter of you want people to stop talking about slavery or the sins of the past. It's almost like you only want one group of people to stop talking about their history, because it's about my pride and what is it? Pride and heritage is what the Confederate flag. Okay, well, you're honoring your heritage, but you want them to shut up about theirs. That makes no sense. These events happen simultaneously. They literally happen at the same time. In fact, some of the people waving the Confederate flag owned the people on the other side. They were owning them. So if you really want people to get over history, then you got to drop your side too. And President Trump just recently renamed bases back after Confederates. So apparently he don't have any desire to stop talking about the past. He just wants this side to do it. That's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. When I say, Cody Lux says that when I say that, I mean currently alive people. I get what you're saying, but the Confederates are deceased. They're all dead, and they're being honored constantly. And people are even indicating they're waving a flag in honor of their pride and heritage. So they're making it clear it's about people in the past, heritage. Then you got to let the other side talk about their heritage. The minute you start waving that flag and putting up statues of your ancestors and shit, you remove all credibility in suggesting that we stop talking about people in the past. Because you're throwing it up in our face constantly. You just want to throw your people up. That's what it sounds like. I just want these black folks to stop talking about their history, because what happened to them is fucked up. That's what it sounds like. It sounds biased. Tim, that base has its own history in World War II. Okay, and you don't think Harriet Tubman has her own history? You don't think some of the things that Trump is taking the name off of has its own history? Just saying, be fair. If you're going to attribute names and accolades to history, then damn it, attribute names and accolades to history, not just the history of certain people. Everybody's history wasn't good, but we all have history. That's all I'm saying. In the comments, Cody Lux says, I'm getting tired of race guilt tripping. We're all Americans. We strive for equal opportunity, not equal outcomes. No one should have a leg up. I wish you were around about 300 years ago saying that. We might have been able to get somewhere. You continue by saying the 4th of July is for everyone. It wasn't for everyone. When they were celebrating their independence in July 4th, 1776, if I had jumped up and down and say, hell yeah, we independent now, and started taking off, running out into the sunset, they would have chased me down by horseback and probably shot me in the back. I was not independent of any damn thing. July 4th, 1776 did not mean anything to the people that are related to me. Nothing whatsoever. So, no, it ain't. July 4th was not for everyone. But, since you guys fought and died and all of that shit, now you are free. I guess you can come hang out and have some barbecue with us on July. That ain't how it works. The day they fought and died and got that freedom, they want that day honored. They don't want this other secondhand holiday you're giving them that wasn't meant for them. They want the day they earned freedom. Give us the day you fought and died against the British. You became free. You got a holiday for that shit. We fought and died against your ass. We want that holiday too. That's all. We don't want the holiday you fought for. We want the one we fought for. Is that too much to fucking ask? Is that too much to ask? You seem to be okay with the one you got after you won. Can we get one? I mean, they're pandering to. They pander to you too, right? I'm just saying. That's how you got to look. It's got to be fair on both sides. The 4th of July, and before I move it on, Cody, you're throwing them at me today. You're throwing barbs at me, but like I said, to me, fair is fair. If you're going to honor a holiday, honor a holiday. And if you want people to stop talking about racism, stop talking about racist. You want people to stop talking about the racism of the past, but you want to honor the racist of the past. That doesn't work right. That doesn't work. They got streets and schools and buildings and airports and fucking, well, not airports, but military bases and shit named after them. But you don't want the people that they were abusing to have any mention at all in history, as if they were just slave owners with nobody under them. That's hard to do. That's really hard to do. The left also spreads misinformation about slavery in the past as well, and many Confederates like Robert E. Lee, who said slavery should be abolished, and yet he treated, what did he say? You said it, Robert E. Lee said slavery should be abolished, and yet he's treated like slave owners. Well, to me, that's like saying Bin Laden should be abolished, but you fought on behalf of Bin Laden. It don't matter. I mean, look, if you are a member of ISIS or Al-Qaeda for Bin Laden, if you were a member of Al-Qaeda and you really were outspoken against Bin Laden, but you were still fighting on behalf of Al-Qaeda, we're not going to give you any credit for that. You do realize that, right? So even if, and by the way, I think General Lee owned some slaves, did he not? I think he owned some of them. But just understand, you're fighting for the cause, so you're one of the enemies. I mean, like I use the Al-Qaeda statement. Well, this guy really did not like Bin Laden. You know, back when they were fighting against Iraq, he was outspoken against, he wanted to be the new leader of Al-Qaeda. He didn't like Bin Laden at all. Well, it doesn't matter. He's fighting on behalf of him now. So we're not going to really get a guy any love for that, which is what you're trying to get us to do. Hey, did you know there were black slave owners in the time period? Did you know that? And yes, I did know that. Whites were not the only slave owners. Yeah, I did that. But very few in terms of percentage. I think, what, one or two of them? I mean, there were not a lot of black slave owners were running around. You notice they don't have any statues. All of these black slave owners, you notice they didn't get any statues. Nobody's celebrating them. Lee owned no slaves. Alexa, did General Lee own slaves?
Yes, Robert E. Lee owned enslaved people. He inherited about 10 from his mother in 1829 and later managed nearly 200 more through his father-in-law's estate.
Wow, Cody Locks, how'd you get zero out of that? I mean, this man sounded like he was a real extra on Roots. You saying zero? Did Alexa get that really wrong? 200? Sound like he had his own small suburb with all of those people. You said he owned no slaves, and when he inherited some, he freed them. So, well, they said managed. And by the way, if he did free them, what happened during the time he was owning them? 200 of them. He wasn't freeing them very quick. I don't know. Well, like I said, if it's all about, she is wrong. I've read about Lee's history. So you're saying Alexa is wrong. You read about General Lee's history. Alexa does get some things wrong, but understanding the history you may have read may have been written that way. Look, there's a reason why our history is so fucked up and people don't know a lot about it. They lied about history, what happened from day one. There's a lot of the history of this country that they were literally erasing it as time went on. And the Confederates, of all people, what was it, the Sisters or Aunts of Confederacy or whatever their name was, their literal job was to hide and rewrite history. So even if you do your research and read history, there's a good chance you may not be getting it accurately, because the goal of the Confederates was to hide all of the evil shit they did. There are mass graves all over the fucking South. It ain't in the history books, but they're there. So there is no good story, in my opinion, about the Confederacy. To me, the Confederacy is to America what the Third Reich was to Germany. It just shouldn't have been honored from day one. Their goal was to break up America. They're responsible for more war deaths in this country than any other war in history because both sides were American. Everything about them was bad. And somehow, some way, they're honored like they were patriots. If they had got their way, people wouldn't be here. The country would be poorer. It would be divided. Everything about what they were fighting for would have made the country worse. I just don't understand how they walk away being honored as heroes. I just don't get that. It should have been outlawed. Since when do you start a war with a country, lose, and then get tributes to your people on the victor's soil? I mean, that would be like putting statues of Hirohito on Maui in Honolulu. He attacked Pearl Harbor, and you're going to give him a statue? That makes no fucking sense whatsoever. I don't get. They should never have been honored to begin with. It just you started a war, you lost. You don't get to honor yourself on the soil of the victor. That's bull. You want to talk about something victim mentality? These motherfuckers are asking for participation trophies. You're not a winner. How did you get a trophy out of that shit? You a dead ass loser. How'd you get a trophy? Different lesson, different period. I appreciate the 230,000. I got to step away. You guys don't fuck me up with that. Anyhow, it's your boy Tim, the Handsome Liberal. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be back on regular topics, politics, not race. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you very much.